What's going on, everybody? Welcome into Blazers Uprise Live here on a Thursday night. I hope your Thursday has gone well. A little tidbit, or a big tidbit. Ben Simmons for Robert Covington, CJ McCollum, and picks. We're going to discuss what Stephen A. dropped on Tuesday. I just dropped an article on it. If you read it, hopefully you enjoyed it. I'm proud of that one, and hopefully it kind of, helped your wait, because I know you guys were waiting for us to go live. It was weird having 50 of you in here to go live, but, everybody loved Kelvin Blevins, so, I know you're all waiting for us to talk about him. It's not Ben Simmons related at all, right? So, anyway, we're going to talk about the Blazers legend himself, Mr. Blevins, and we're going to talk about this trade tidbit that Stephen A. Smith dropped for us on First Take. I love talking about First Take and Stephen A. Smith, man. So I don't know if there's anything else to cover today. Those are the two main topics. Eric, how's your day going? How's the Thursday, man?
It was all right until I tried to play a second game of basketball and did something to my knee, and now I can't move.
Yeah, so Eric looking all stiff. I can tell he's just stiff on the camera, man. Eric's trying to make his grand return to the hardwood, and it's not going so well. I made mine a while ago, so luckily I kind of got my legs back. It's going to be a process, Eric, man. I hated stepping on the court for, the first couple of times. I don't know. How much run have you been able to get in?
I've been playing consistently twice a week for about 2 months now. Once a week for about 3 months. But 2 weeks ago, my second league started, and they're on back-to-back nights, and my body just can't handle playing. It takes a day or two to recover. So, and then we had a doubleheader. Our one doubleheader of the season was tonight after only having 5 guys and having to play the whole game last night. So, then I log on to in between games and see that McCaffrey got hurt. I'm playing Torian fantasy, so of course he got 5 fantasy points. So I
almost said let's go, but no, not. I didn't want him to get hurt. You know what I mean? But hopefully it's not serious. Luckily for you, you do have his handcuff. It's just I don't know. I wanted to beat you without anybody getting hurt. But I am facing Eric and Christian McCaffrey. I was like, just as long as he gets less than 30 fantasy points, I'm chilling, and he ends up with 5. He ends up getting hurt. So it was funny because that happens to Eric's fantasy team. We re-signed Blevins, which those of you who paid attention to our conversations about him last year know that, we weren't thrilled about having him on a two-way. So I said in our fantasy football Discord server, hopefully Eric's rec league goes better than this day has gone for him, and now he is complaining about his knee hurting and just being super sore, so it's just been a rough day for Eric. Hopefully talking about Robert Covington for Ben Simmons can cheer you up, Eric.
Yeah, Reese texted me earlier. We re-signed Blevins to a two-way, and I was hoping he was pranking me, but unfortunately it was true. And at least we won our first game pretty handily, and we got blown out, drilled in the second game because I couldn't move up and down the court. But the team we played had at least 3 decently leveled college players on it, so pretty tough game to win at full strength, let alone not being able to run. So
yep. So I didn't even see the Blevins news for a whole hour and a half because I was churning out that Roco.
Did you not see it till I asked you if it was true?
I didn't see it till you asked me, and I was like, hopefully he's pranking you, and then I checked it, and it was the Blazers tweeted out. I was like, oh no, man. So we'll discuss that after we thank Embarking Box for the $5 dono. He says, hey guys, hope you're doing well at work, but I'll be listening the whole time. I'll be monumentally pissed if we had Roco to any deal for Simmons, and yeah, we'll get into that. Appreciate the dono and barking box. Hopefully your day is going well there at work. We are uploading audio now to Spotify. People had asked about that. I figured out a way to efficiently do it.
Oh, nice.
So this episode will be uploaded, and I'm uploading the player review series to Spotify right now. I don't know if it's publishing on Google Podcasts or somewhere else. I just publish it to a website, and then it kind of sends it a couple different places. One of those I know is Spotify. So you can listen to this audio back on Spotify, or if you're somebody listening to us on Spotify right now and somehow found us, check out our YouTube stuff. It's we're just expanding platforms right now with the website, on Spotify and all that. But I'd rather have y'all here in person, typing in chat. That's the best way to do it. That's the best way to watch us, and it's the best for the platform. But I know a lot of you asked, so we will upload on Spotify. We just didn't have a good process for it last year. That was kind of the issue. So I did some digging last night, figured something out. Alrighty. Eric, are you ready to get into the meat of the show?
Well, real quick, so we have, speaking of Embarking Bucks, he has submitted his article on Greg Brown, so look for that to drop in the next couple days. We also have a really good article from Spencer Poole that should be out tomorrow, and that is detailing and kind of comparing our bench this year to previous benches, and it's really well written, and I'm really excited to put that out. And then also, if you missed it, Tori's article, read that today about Robert Covington, even though you're watching the stream. And then also, there was an article last night that dropped about 3 players on the Blazers that are poised for a breakout season, and that was by Connor McIntosh. So we got a lot of good stuff on the website, a lot of content. We're churning out articles as fast as we can, and it's only going to get ramped up here once we get into the season.
Yeah, I told you guys we were going to ramp it up, and it's the floodgates have opened, I guess. So, yeah, love to see it. The writing's really good. Give it a shot. Check it out. You know, if you would rather just watch videos or watch streams and aren't for written content, that's completely fine. But definitely give it a chance. We got a lot of cool people writing some cool stuff for us. So, BlazersUprise.com is the website. Anyway, you want to start with the Blazers legend or the 76ers legend? Okay. You want to start with the Blazers legend?
Yes.
So, the Blazers made their biggest move of the offseason today, signing Kelvin Blevins. Oh, wait, I said his name right. That's a mistake. Kelvin Blevins to a 2-way contract. Re-signed him to a 2-way contract. It's just a 2-way contract, but this dude is going to do big things for the team next year. Right, Eric?
I wouldn't count on that. Well, once again, let's just say how it is. It's a waste of a 2-way spot. Once again, we said that all last year, right? But I'm not as mad about it this year for some reason. I know this year, more than last year, it's just for Dame. He's a dependable practice body that we can count on to be there and not be a knucklehead or anything like that. So warm body for practice.
Wait, hold up. Eric, you would be a warm body for practice. Maybe not. You hurt yourself today. Nope. But I would be a warm body for practice, all right? Half the people in chat would be warm bodies for practice. I don't know. I mean...
But, at least we used our other spot on, an actual prospect that could pan out or, has a chance. Who knows if he will or not. But, at least, unlike last year when we just had Kelvin until we signed TJ Leaf late in the season, at least this year we signed one of those spots to someone who could actually develop and be someone instead of just to please Dame. But, yeah, like I said, as long as we use one of the spots, and I'm hoping we use both open roster spots for the 4 other players that are officially now on training camp contracts. I just hope we use those other 2 spots because it's a shame that none of them qualified for the 2-way. Because I'd much rather have Dennis Smith Jr. and Quinn Cook than Blevins and only one of those 2. So yeah.
Yeah. I mean, here's the thing. It's more palatable now because there's all the talk about Dame potentially asking out and leaving and how we need to keep Damian Lillard happy, all right? That wasn't really a worry last year,
yeah.
That wasn't a worry last offseason, so it wasn't a situation where it's oh yeah, we need to waste a whole 2-way spot to keep him happy. It's nah, he's loyal, he's staying in Portland. And then all this talk comes and it's okay, fine. use a dang 2-way spot on Kelvin Blevins. I don't care.
Well,
He's never going to amount to anything. He's never going to be a productive NBA player. He wasn't even a productive college player. I don't think like you look up his numbers in college. He played at Montana, bro. I think he started his junior and senior season, but like definitely wasn't even the best player on his team. Look at his stats in the G League. He wasn't even a contributor in the G League. I'm actually surprised he ended up with a G League spot. But so it's just not a guy who's going to ever amount to anything. And when you watch him play, it's like, yeah, this dude is nowhere near an NBA caliber player. But the family connection, keep Dame happy. Screw it, whatever. And he's a fun meme as the season goes along, so we get to continue that. At least it's not Mario Hezonja playing rotation minutes, right?
Like, this isn't a joke. I'm totally serious when I say this. You see these stories about like Kyrie Irving possibly not being vaccinated, and they play in an arena where he can't play home games if he's not vaccinated or doesn't get some sort of exemption or whatever. So, like, Blevins, I don't think he's, like, going to go out and party. Like, you're not going to worry about him on the road, like, possibly exposing the team to COVID or whatever. So, I think he proved, like, I think that was one of the reasons we signed him last year, too, is just to have a guy Dame trusts and know that it's not going to potentially cost this team the season because our two-way contract guy, like, went and goofed off in Miami or something one night on the road. So, Trevin made me laugh. He said Billups will fix he's not a miracle worker. But like honestly, I think they have a full team once they sign the guys, whatever guy they end up going with, or two guys they end up going with, out of the 4 training camp guys. So I think this year they just wanted someone that they could count on to be there and not be an F up and be dependable to be at practice and not have to worry about him potentially exposing the team. And I think that's going to be a storyline for a lot of these teams. Shams came out and said 90% of the league was vaccinated. As far as I know, I think most, if not all, of the Blazers are. So that might have also been a factor in some of the signings over the summer. Certain guys we targeted and certain guys we didn't sign that we possibly could have or used the tax MLE on, because it's not that far out of the realm of possibility that like one bad thing happens to one player and it like ruins your whole season. Look at like Toronto in the middle of last season, just could never really get back on track after a bunch of players and coaches got COVID. So
Yeah, Beavis says you guys don't realize Ellaby and Blevins kept Norman Dame for us. Yeah, we gotta appreciate him, man. That's that. I dropped my Ellaby player preview yesterday, and oh man, it was a struggle to find good things to say about him. And the best thing I could think of was he, but maybe potentially, possibly helped us keep Norm. So if Blevins helps us keep Dame, that's the thing, is like Blevins is more valuable on a two-way contract because he's helping us keep Damian Lillard. Ellaby is on a main contract and he's helping us keep Norman Powell. That's still valuable, but it's not quite the efficiency on the low pay with Blevins on a two-way contract keeping Damian Lillard on the team.
Yeah.
So Blevins over Ellaby confirmed. You heard it here first. Anyway, don't at me. Anything else you want to say about this move today?
Before we move on to the other thing, it kind of has to do with what you just said. I'm going to go on a little side rant. For those that think this organization is completely dysfunctional and it's like the worst run front office ever and like no one does anything right, then tell me why Dame would want to stay or why he's wanted to stay for the first 9 years of his career.
Because he's loyal to a fault. That's what they'll say.
Yeah, but like we just saw, Minnesota freaking fires the person in charge of their roster moves 6 days before training camp, and then it comes out like this just been a dysfunctional mess. We find out that Zion doesn't even want to talk to David Griffin, their GM in New Orleans, and they can't even get a hold of him. They can't get him to show up to any team functions or workouts. They can't get him to show up in shape, and he's always hurt and trying to hide injuries and stuff like that.
Yeah, instead he's in Durham going
Party.
to frat parties.
Yeah. And then we hear about like all the dysfunction in the Dallas front office last year and how they possibly are going to lose Luka in the future because they're totally mishandling that and have to fire their whole front office basically. You have Karl Anthony Towns on Minnesota texting WTF like minutes after Roses is fired. And then you have all this crap going on in Philadelphia where their coach, he tried to like say he didn't say that, even though it's clear as day he did throw Ben Simmons under the bus. And, the other star player there threw him under the bus as well. And the GM completely messed up his trade value this summer and all that. So, like, you see all these teams and all these stars, and they're unhappy and want out. And a summer where Dame was, he's about to request a trade. Like, how many times did we hear that this summer? Like, inside information, Dame told his teammates that he's going to request a trade. Give Olshey some credit for at least getting Dame to buy in and stay here one more year, his 10th season with the team, and Olshey's been here that whole time. So obviously they don't have that bad of a relationship with Dame. I don't think Dame would stay here for 10 years if he hated Olshey, and I don't think Dame's the kind of guy who wouldn't have possibly pushed this summer to just clean house and start all over if he really didn't want Olshey there.
Here's the thing, man. It's like you have a section of the fan base that all offseason has just been like, Portland is the laughing stock of the league. Our organization is being laughed at because we are so dysfunctional. And it's all because of like one or two Olshey quotes in a press conference that the rest of the nation forgot the day after. Right. The rest of the nation, maybe, a couple articles here like, this was a bad press conference for Neil Olshey. And then the next day, none of them cared. For Blazer fans, for that section of the Blazer fan base, they cared about those quotes all off season. But it's almost like they were putting their own feelings on everybody that covers the league. And any shred of anything negative from anybody that covered the NBA, they would just share and say, see, we are dysfunctional. This proves it. They're unbiased and they say that Dame is going to leave this offseason or, that Olshey is horrible or anything to validate their opinions. But it's like they are searching out stuff to validate what they think. And when you truly look at things, we are nowhere near as dysfunctional as Minnesota. We are nowhere near as dysfunctional as Zion innuation, right? If Dame was doing all that stuff, I mean, hopefully Dame wouldn't be going to frat parties at his age with 3 kids, but, if that was happening, sure, okay, we're dysfunctional. But it's based off a couple quotes and the fact that Olshey won't trade CJ and what? Like, I don't understand.
And Dame's here practicing with the team ahead of training camp several weeks before it started. They were almost all in town practicing, so...
It's just ridiculous, man. So it's just funny to see that stuff go down. I mean, you look at Dallas, and it's like, if that stuff was happening here, and with people freaking out as much as they are about Neil Olshey, I couldn't imagine if the stuff that's happened in Dallas happened here. If people are this up in arms about Olshey, because it's worse in Dallas, and it's been worse in Dallas. And if you want to know the details into that, you can go look it up, right? It's just funny how people have tried to project their own feelings about our front office across the entire NBA, and basically any fan of other teams, and I'll talk to fans of other teams. You got the Valley Pod guys, and you got, you got Romp. I've had a discussion with him, man. Guys like that, they're not paying attention to every little thing that Neil Olshey does, right? And they may look at the end of the offseason and say, yeah, the Blazers didn't do enough. They're going to lose Dame at the deadline. But, like, we've heard that in previous offseasons, right? Here's the thing. We fixed the coach. We have the best defensive group around Dame and CJ I think we've ever had. So this season isn't just going to be the same old run it back, even though there wasn't a ton of change. Because I think the coach is an upgrade. Nance is an upgrade over Melo defensively by a long shot. Same with Zeller over Canner. So we're going to see what happens, right? And Dame is bought in. So I just don't understand everybody that is trying. They're fans of the Blazers, and they're trying to make it out like we are the worst organization and completely dysfunctional when that is absolutely not the case.
Mm-hmm. And, I mean, we're going to get called Olshey apologists, whatever. We're just not like irrationally hating him, right? You know what I mean?
Yeah, but it's like if you say anything like we're not completely dysfunctional. Yeah, but like if you sit here and say, "Hey guys, I don't think we are the most dysfunctional organization in the league," they will scream Olshey apologist at you. If you say, "I don't think Olshey's the worst person to walk on the face of the earth," they will scream Olshey apologist at you. That's just the way it goes.
Remember all those same fools were saying that New Orleans was a better free agent destination than us this offseason. Dallas was a better free agent destination. Minnesota was a better free agent destination because they were on the uptick or whatever. Like all those people, those rankings, like, oh, Portland's bottom 3 destinations, and we somehow re-sign Norm and get some really good minimum contract signings.
Yeah, dude. I'm sure Larry Nance was wishing he was traded to Minnesota right now.
Yeah.
Or New Orleans. Come on.
And again, the Carmelo Anthony phone call thing, not one free agent next year or past this offseason. I mean, it wouldn't affect anyone this offseason either. But there's not one player a year from now, 5 years from now, 10 years from now, that'll be like, well, Neil Olshey back in 2021 didn't call Melo and wish him good luck in LA, so I'm never going to sign for Portland. Like, that stuff doesn't happen. And the thing with Billups, too, whether you like the guy, whether you hate the other stuff, whether you think we should have hired someone else, every single person in the NBA respects that guy. Like, every single person who he's ever been in contact with says nothing but glowing things about that dude. And he's got a reputation that is, I mean, I don't think I'm exaggerating when I'm saying, in the NBA circles, it's hard to get a better reputation than that dude has. Outside of that one incident, there's no one ever says one bad thing about him ever. So it's just weird to this whole offseason has been somewhat positive if you aren't out to seek it. And then you have people making up stuff like Jody and Neil are having a power struggle to see who gets their wish with coach or whatever. That stuff didn't happen. That was all made up BS. And it's just so all these people are basing them saying we're Olshey apologists on the fact that they're trusting rumors that weren't even true. So it's dumb.
Yeah. Yep.
And get ready for Monday because it's going to be even worse on Monday.
So Olshey has a press conference on Monday to kick off media day, right? The meltdown is inevitable no matter what he says. I guarantee it. There will be a bunch of people on Twitter freaking out on Monday. Mm-hmm. I can say that with 100% certainty at this point, no matter what he says. The only way there wouldn't be a meltdown is if Olshey said something that no GM of any sports team would ever say in any situation. The only way there won't be a meltdown is if Olshey comes out and says, yeah, shoot me to the sun, fire me, I'm the worst.
I quit, yeah.
I quit. Dame deserves... That's the only way people won't have a meltdown at this point. No GM is ever gonna... Who in their right mind would say that? Come on. So there's gonna be a meltdown on Monday. And we're going to have a stream Monday night. And we're going to talk about all the media day stuff. And we're going to talk about a bunch of people melting down on Twitter. And it's just going to be fabulous, man. It's going to be awesome. It's coming. I won't even get mad, dude. Because it's when there's meltdowns out of the blue, it's oh my goodness, you know what I mean? But it's so expected at this point that I'm just going to be all right, let's see. Here we go. Oh, Olshey thinks this roster can win a lot of games. He's a moron. There's that tweet. Oh, he said the word contend for a championship. He's a moron. Screw him.
Defense, that's players off the bench that are good at defense. Oh, what is he thinking? Our bench sucks.
Yeah, I mean, you got people out here saying, like, it's laughable that people think our bench is good and stuff like that. I mean, it's inevitable. So, wait and see. We should, I mean, make a bingo card if you guys want. If you guys really want to have fun on Monday, make a bingo card and predict some tweets and then see if you can get bingo.
I think Blazer Tag's going to do that for us.
Hey, well, they would know best, so anyway.
But like Arrow Man says, that he makes moves with his own self-preservation. Who wouldn't? Like, I mean,
here's the thing: what
you want to keep your job if you were GM of the Portland Trailblazers? Like, I don't know.
Self-preservation is doing the best job you possibly can, right?
Right.
Like, if you do the best job you can, then you're going to remain in your job, right? It's like sitting here and saying, "Oh yeah, that fast food worker, they're doing their work with their own self-preservation in mind." Like, of course they are. Of course they're trying to do their job correctly so they don't get fired so they can make a living.
And here's the deal. Olshey, like, Chat's right. He was a complete prick during those press conferences. Like, he didn't have to handle them that way. He didn't have to say that. But I still contend that the exit interview one, I would be pissed too if I was Neil Olshey, because you made a trade for Norman Powell. You had a healthy team. You spoke all season long about how it was going to be different in the playoffs this year because you were going to do things differently. You felt like you gave Stotts the pieces to change things around, and he got worse and lost in the first round to a team missing their second best player. Like, I would have been frustrated and defensive and like mad that I feel like I did the right thing, made some good moves, and it didn't pan out, and it possibly led to Dame not liking it here anymore. And then I'm taking all the blame for it, and I could fire Stotts, but you still have a certain section of the fan base who will never get over their love for Stotts and will always blame Olshey for not giving Stotts better pieces or whatever. So.
And it's just ridiculous because it's like they'll sit here and say, oh, no, the personnel sucks defensively. But they weren't saying that before the season. They were saying, oh, Olshey went out and he got Derek Jones Jr. Everybody, like, except for us, liked that signing, it seemed like. You know what I mean? And I came around to it. You came around to it. You know what I mean? But it's like, before the season, it's like, oh, he went out and got Derek Jones Jr. and Robert Covington defensively. He upgraded the defensive personnel. So the defense should get better or it's on Stotts, right?
Yeah.
And then the defense gets worse.
Universally said that.
Yeah, everyone. And then the defense gets worse, and they're right back to blaming the personnel and Olshey.
Yeah. What is he supposed to do? He can't trap with the personnel.
Yeah, but like now I see those same people saying, yeah, it's a personnel issue defensively, but they think that if we trade Robert Covington and CJ McCollum, we will be an elite defense. How does swapping Robert Covington out for Ben Simmons take us from the second worst defense to an elite defense? The gap between Ben Simmons is a better defender than Robert Covington, but the gap between Robert Covington and Ben Simmons isn't big enough to take a team from horrible defensively to elite defensively if the defensive issues are personnel based.
Especially when you lose two starters in that trade and then have the problem where your center doesn't really fit in that either.
Yeah, so I guess this is a perfect segue into talking about Robert Covington to be included in the Ben Simmons trade. And, I mean, a lot of what I say will be included in the article I wrote. One of the things, I just want to start off with this, Eric. When are we going to stop believing Stephen A. Smith?
I don't know.
So are we getting Simmons and Karl Anthony Towns? Isn't that the deal? Because he said Karl Anthony Towns to Portland? And NBA sources telling me Karl Anthony Towns in Portland, but maybe, yeah. It's like, dude, nobody credible ever reported that. It was Stephen A. Smith, and here's the thing, he's going to say stuff to get people talking about his show. That's the whole point. It's entertainment. It's entertainment television, right? So, and it's smart because everybody starts talking about his show and what Stephen A. Smith said, because he ended up saying, yeah, the Blazers are offering Robert Covington, CJ McCollum, and 2 first-round picks or something like that. But I don't even know if he said offering. It was something like they're talking about, I don't know.
They made it sound like that Philadelphia would do it. No, Philadelphia won't do it, but we're having internal
discussions
if
about
we
the
would do
offer
it either. But like,
Yeah.
I don't. Would Philly even do that? I feel like they're not going to even trade him at this point.
I mean, Romp, what's the deal? Romp was in here. Shout out to Romp. Romp is our resident 76ers fan. And we got a resident Suns fan in here too. What's up, Gabe? I mean, dude, that is such a great haul for Philadelphia if they were able to get CJ McCollum, Robert Covington, and picks. That is so much better than anything they could expect right now.
Mm-hmm.
Because they need an elite perimeter scorer that can play off the ball. CJ is one of the best spot-up shooters in the league, so he can play off Embiid. He can run pick and roll. He can score on all 3 levels. He averaged 5 assists per game last year. He can pass the ball. And when he's the lead guard without Damian Lillard, he's averaging like 27, 28 points per game and 6 assists. Now, maybe he doesn't average that, but I mean, come on. That's exactly what they need. At this point, they should, if they can trade Ben Simmons straight up for CJ McCollum, they should be thanking the heavens with how much Ben Simmons' trade value has declined. So if they were also able to get an elite 3-and-D forward and picks, dude, like, if they're not willing to do that, like, just give up. Give up. If they're not willing to do that at this point, days before training camp, when Ben Simmons is telling them, I'm never playing in a Sixer uniform again, suckers. I mean, come on.
Because honestly, what other trade package out there? I mean, like, I guess if you wanted to go younger, Sacramento could maybe give you some pieces, but that doesn't really make sense from what everything Philly said. And Minnesota certainly... I mean, would you rather have D'Lo or CJ if you're Philly?
I mean, CJ's a better shooter.
Yeah.
CJ's better. Like, what is D'Lo better at than CJ?
He's maybe a little bigger. That's it.
Yeah, but it's like CJ's probably playing much, point there. Romp says Embiid helped JJ Redick average 18 points per game at 34 years old. CJ would average 27 with Embiid. I think it'd be at least 25. Dude, if you can get a 25-point-per-game scorer that could average 5 assists and play off of Embiid, play with Embiid in the pick and roll, and has years of contractual control, and he's not a good defender, but you got a bunch of defensive pieces. Like, he's just such a perfect fit, and he's been a perfect fit from the get-go. But it's like Morey's pride is... You know, his whole thing is we're getting the biggest names. I'm not going to make a trade as Daryl Morey where I don't get the biggest name in the deal.
But, like, who is that? I mean, are they still holding out hope for Dame? Or are they stupidly? Or are they, like, who's a bigger name that they can get right now? I don't...
Dude, it's such a weird situation. I am so excited. Like, as long as Simmons goes elsewhere because I don't want him, I am so excited to see what happens, what the resolution is. And I don't know. It's just like, are they going to cash in and get decent value despite everything going on? Or is it going to be a situation where they get nothing? Or, you know, I mean, like maybe a D'Angelo Russell. But if they get D'Angelo Russell straight up for Ben Simmons, that's so funny to me. Like, I would feel bad for Romp, but that would be so funny to me, man. I mean... I don't know. It's just like, I don't know what the resolution to this is just because of the way Morey has played this entire thing. I just hope that, I just pray that we're not. Cat? Yeah,
I mean. Already seemingly, I mean, if you believe some reports, wanting out.
I mean, yeah, I mean, he should. They can't even make the playoffs with him. So, I don't know. It's just going to be interesting to see how this plays out. You just can't trade Rocco in the deal, especially. I don't want to trade CJ McCollum straight up for Ben Simmons because I think Ben Simmons makes our offense worse, especially in the playoffs. We might be a better regular season team, but I don't think we'd be a better playoff team. And who cares about being a better regular season team if you're not a better playoff team? I don't. And I don't think Ben Simmons' game works in the playoff. I don't think you can win in the playoffs if your number 2 player cannot play off of your number 1 player. That's why guys like DeMar DeRozan, who needs to be the number 1 guy to be truly effective. If he's playing off the ball too much, he's not going to be effective whatsoever. He's not a good defender. He's not a good shooter, right? Like, there's a reason he's struggled in playoffs. There's a reason Russell Westbrook has struggled in playoffs. Neither one of those guys are good enough to be the number one on a successful playoff team, so they have to be the number 2 or the number 3, and they don't fit like that. And those guys struggle. Ben Simmons, I think, is the same exact way. He's not good enough to be the number 1, and he doesn't fit as the number 2. And I think it would be an issue where offensively, the Blazers would struggle without Dame on the court, because you wouldn't have a second guy that can create his own shot as well as shots for others at a high level off the dribble.
Well, Ben can do that a little bit when
he can't create for himself in the playoffs.
I mean,
he can create for others.
He could if he applied himself. That's what I'm saying.
See, but then we get into a discussion where it's like the idea of Ben Simmons versus what he actually is.
Mm-hmm.
If he could create for himself and was willing to create for himself in the playoffs and did it effectively and did it with confidence, we'd be having a different conversation right now.
Mm-hmm.
So
let's get to some donos real quick. Cole with a $2 dono says, Ben for Blevins straight up. Yeah.
No, because then Dame leaves, so. Shout out JM1231 $2 dono. The rumor is just ridiculous. No two ways about it. Appreciate the donos from Cole and JM1231.
Just a side note too. If we did trade for some reason Rocco and CJ together to Philly, they would have to include like $2 to $3 million more in salary. So they'd have to include another player.
It's not gonna be Maxey.
Yeah.
It's probably not going to be Thibault. You can Morey is stingy. I wish I could cuss because stingy AF. That's what Morey is, man. He is not going to just throw in Thibault or Maxey when it's already been reported that he doesn't even want to do Simmons for CJ, Covington, and picks. It's going to be what's his name? Is Mike Scott still making $5 million a year for them?
No, I think he's gone.
Is he gone? I mean, so. I don't know what their payroll looks like, but
they have Paul Reed and one of the Isaiahs.
Yeah, it'll be Paul Reed and Isaiah Joe.
Yeah, Isaiah Joe is the one.
Yeah, that's what it'll be.
I think those two combined, I think make enough. They can't trade Danny Green because he just signed, so.
Yeah. I mean, you're not getting Maxey. People are like, oh, well, I mean, we can get Maxey back. No, you can't. You can't. You might not even be able to get Ben Simmons for that package, and you shouldn't want Ben Simmons for that package. So you're not going to get Maxey. I don't get it. You can't trade Covington in the deal. Here's the thing, Eric, and I want your... Do you want to give your takes on this? Because I wrote the whole article and I feel like I've been talking a lot. You want to give
go ahead.
Your thoughts on it?
You were about to say something. Go ahead.
I mean, the only reason to trade CJ for Ben Simmons is to upgrade defensively by sliding Powell down to the 2, bringing Ben Simmons in, who's a great point of attack defender, and then you'd have switchability and a bunch of lineup versatility. You could put out a big lineup with Dame, Simmons, Covington, Nance, and Nurkic. That might be a headache offensively, but at least you got Dame out there, and you got some guys out there. Defensively, that would be a really, really good lineup, and really, really big, and switchable, right? Or you sub Powell in for Nurkic, and you have Dame, Powell, Rocco, Nance, and Simmons, and you go small. But 3 through 5, you're switchable. In the big lineup, 2 through 4, you're switchable. Basically, if you compare Nance, Rocco, and Simmons together, you have switchability there. And you put Ben Simmons on the best opposing player, and then you have 2 elite off-ball defenders behind him, right? That is the reason to make that trade. And if we traded CJ for Simmons straight up, I wouldn't like it because I think in the playoffs, it's not going to work offensively, and the defense isn't going to offset that. I'm also, higher on our defense going into next year as is, so that's part of the equation there. But that's why I wouldn't do it straight up for CJ, but I could buy the positives. I could go into next season okay, we should be a really good defense, and hopefully our offense can work, Like, we should win a lot of regular season games. And I'd probably expect us to win a couple more regular season games. And I could go into the season being like, okay, buying the positives, drinking the Kool-Aid, and, just bought in, right?
Mm-hmm.
All those positives go away if you include Robert Covington in the deal. You don't have the combo of Nance, Rocco, and Simmons. You still upgrade defensively, but nowhere near as much. It's just, you can't do it.
Well, it would have made more sense if we did that before some of the other moves, like free agency starting, if we're going to trade Covington, because then that probably changes who we target, like with the tax mid-level exception right away, and maybe we could get someone to play with that team, that fits there. But now we're just plugging holes, and then instead of having all this depth, one of those players now has to start, and then you still have the problem with, does Nurk and Ben Simmons, does that work? Those two playing together very well.
Yeah.
I saw Johnny Doe said in chat, Ben's really good at transition, but that doesn't do anything in the playoffs. One, transition play slows down. It's really hard, even if you're really good at transition, to win in the playoffs playing that way. And two, how can Ben be good in transition in the playoffs if his confidence and his lack of not wanting to touch the ball comes back? So it's possible he gets over that, I guess, and it's fine. But unless he somehow miraculously turns his mental basketball IQ around, which is not really that common, I don't see how him being good in transition will help this team take a step into contention or better than we are right now. I'd almost rather just try to outscore teams than, even if that does improve our defense, try to do something that we know won't win in the playoffs either.
Yeah, you can't. Transition basketball doesn't translate. And here's the thing is, like, a guy with Ben Simmons' offensive flaws, teams will be able to exploit that more in the playoffs when they can game plan for it. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And if Ben Simmons is shooting like he did last year in the playoffs, he's going to be getting hacked. And he's not going to want to touch the ball because he doesn't want to end up on the free throw line with the chance that he airballs or misses free throws like crazy. Like, that's a legitimate problem. And people just try and sweep that under the rug like it doesn't exist. Mm-hmm. It exists. It's a problem. It's an issue. Maybe he'd overcome it. But it's something that you have to take into account.
And we talked earlier about the people who won't buy into this team. I mean, to be fair, that's kind of what we did last year. But we knew, unless they changed their play style, that it was going to turn out the way it did, right? We still should have probably beat Denver even playing crappy brand of basketball. But that's what I would just be worried all season. Like, oh, Ben's playing so well right now. Look at him, game 42. Like, he's pushing the ball in transition and scoring. But what happens the fourth quarter of an important game in the playoffs when he starts pushing at transition and teams are just fouling him on purpose and making him earn it at the free throw line, and he misses like 4 free throws in a row and it gets in his head, and all of a sudden he's like a 30% three-point shooter the rest of the series because
30% three-point shooter. I'd love that. 30% free throw shooter
because he's so messed up mentally. So I would just be worried about that all season, no matter how well he played with them. And I'm not saying that, once again, I'm all for the right CJ trade. If Ben Simmons helps us land someone else in a 3-team trade, I'm all for that too. I don't feel like
Siakam.
There would be a 3-team trade. I feel like at this point it's just going to happen as a either they accept CJ and whatever filler and for Ben Simmons, or they try to see if he'll show up, and he won't show up. I'm pretty certain of that. So I don't know what's going to happen.
Yeah, and here's the thing. Here's something else. If you include Robert Covington, the bench gets worse because you have to start Larry Nance Jr.
Yeah.
Here's the thing. It's like, not only do you take CJ McCollum out of the bench unit and maybe, you stagger Simmons and Simmons runs the bench unit. I'd rather have CJ McCollum running the bench unit offensively, so I think that's a downgrade. And then you're also taking Larry Nance Jr. out of there. So it's like, when Dame goes out of the game, teams just go on runs against us, right? And we saw that last year in the playoffs. Like, our starting lineup outscored Denver by about 50 points over the course of the series. I think it was a little under that. Our bench gave up.
But no, our 3 small guards got torched, Ari. How is that possible?
Our 3 small guards got torched, and we still outscored them by almost 50 points.
Because their height is equal to their getting reach.
Oh, man, goodness. Here, the bench is what really cost us that series. Because our bench would come in, and you'd have Melo next to Cantor, and they'd give up a bunch of points. Right? Here's the thing. Like, with Simmons run the bench unit, yeah, our bench would be better defensively. Offensively, or our bench would be better defensively. Offensively, it'd be an issue, man. Like, it would be an issue offensively, and it'd be a situation where I feel like it'd be the same problem where Dame would come out of the game, and we'd be worried about, like, oh, well, this 7-point lead is going to go away. We're going to lose the 7-point lead because our bench unit can't score, because Ben Simmons can't shoot. Like, you'd have to have a huge breakout season from Nas, and I know a lot of people are high on him, but it's like you're making him responsible to be, I don't know, I would want to have him in a more of a complementary role instead of being like, yeah, you're our only forward playing with the bench that can shoot the 3 and take it to the rim. Because who else is going to play? You're going to have Simmons there as a guard. You're going to have Zeller as a center. You're maybe going to stagger Simmons. Who else is going to play? I guess you're going to have Snell. He's only a 3-point shooter. I mean, I don't know. I just don't like that bench. I like that bench better if you have CJ running it, and Larry Nance Jr. off the bench, I think is phenomenal. One of the top 5 backup 4s in the league.
Yeah, see, this is where... But, I mean, if we're giving up CJ, Rocco, and picks, we can't really send another pick somewhere else to get, like, another player, because technically we'd have some wiggle room in that trade if we got creative to include, I don't know, say, not that Utah would trade him, but Joe Ingles or something. So, like, we get Joe Ingles in that trade somehow, and Utah gets whatever, I don't know. But, like, somehow we need to figure out a player. I think we would need somehow to get creative. And depending on how good that player is, I guess maybe that could change my mind on it. But, like, it would be really hard with the assets we have if we give up that much for just Ben to get anything else from another team included in that trade, even if we had a trade exception and tried to get something later. We wouldn't have any picks to trade. We wouldn't have any I guess we could trade Ant and Nas, but, like, I wouldn't want to trade those guys. Just then we're talking about just rearranging deck chairs, at that point. So
yeah, yep. So I don't know. It's just not the right move for a number of reasons, to include Covington too, man. I don't like that, because here's the thing. It's like, if you include Covington, I don't think the Blazers would end up being an elite team on either side of the floor. And I feel like you need to at least have the chance of being elite on one side of the floor. You have to have an identity, right? And, like, right now we're elite offensively. Yeah, like, right now it's like we're elite offensively, and that's running a bad offense and running a lot of isolation and not getting good 3-point shots. Like, this team, there's no question this is going to be an elite offense next year. It's, can the defense catch up enough to give them a chance? With Ben Simmons there, we would have a good offense and probably a good defense. I don't think we'd be elite on either side. Mm-hmm. So, I don't know. Like, maybe it'd be fine, but it's like, how are you a contender if you're not elite on either side of the ball?
Yeah.
So, because that's the thing is, like, in the playoffs, if you have a good defensive game, you're going to be in it with anybody. Mm-hmm. So that's the thing. You just have to give yourself that chance.
I think we potentially could be elite defensively. At least
if you include Rocco for Simmons?
Yeah, I mean, we'd still Nance, Nurk, Simmons, Norm, all in the starting lineup. I mean, that's 4 really good defenders. I still think you could make it work maybe, but yeah,
I don't think Norm is... I wouldn't say Norm is really good. I think he's above average, slightly above average, but...
Here's the deal. He's not great if he's, like, having to be the main perimeter defender. But if he's like our fourth best defender, I think he'd be really good in that role.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, the bench unit, though.
Yeah. I know. I agree.
I don't know.
I agree with you. Other than I think our defense would be pretty good, but
I don't think it would be a top
what
5
the offense
defense.
would do. Yeah.
And I guess like top 5 is what I'm quantifying as elite.
I think it'd be close. Ben did some things in the playoffs still in that series. The playing out. I mean, he did somewhat neutralize Trae Young 1-on-1, which was really hard to do. Having a guy like that does change things a little bit.
Here's the thing, though. Like, Trae Young facilitated like crazy that series. That's how they were able to win. Like, he was able to get into the paint and draw help side guys and throw lobs, dish it out. Like, he was able to break down the defense still. He might not have had an efficient... He was able to score. It wasn't the most efficient series from him, but he was still able to make things happen for their offense and carry the Atlanta Hawks to a win over the Philadelphia 76ers. So that's the thing. It's like, yeah, you want a great point of attack defender. But still, man, Trae Young was still able to break down their defense and get into the paint pretty consistently. So I don't know. Like, Simmons is a great defender. I don't think that's enough.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I don't know, man. It's hard to say. It's hard to say how good that defense could be. I just don't think it would end up being a top 5 defense. If you have Rocco there, it has a chance to be a top 3 defense. Without Rocco, I don't think it ends up being a top 5. I could be wrong. I'm not going to say that for sure. I just don't think it would end up being elite on either side of the floor.
Can you imagine trading CJ for Ben straight up with Stotts?
Oh my god. Like, oh dude, thank goodness. Like, that's the thing. If we do trade CJ for Simmons, like, I can be okay with it because Terry Stotts is not the coach anymore.
At least we know
I
like
the
schemes will be somewhat adapted to fit their play style.
Yeah, like, oh goodness. Simmons would get stuck in the corner. He would finally start shooting threes, but he'd shoot them at like 10%. But he'd still shoot like 3 a game. And it'd be like, man, everybody wanted Ben to shoot. Yeah, we wouldn't run out. We don't run. Even when we have a lineup in to run, like 3 guards, and, we'll have 3 guard lineups, we won't even run with them. So, I don't know, man. Like, Stotts' whole offense was pick and roll and isolation. So I guess they would run some pick and rolls with Ben Simmons with Nurkic spacing the floor for that pick and roll, or standing in the paint, which just clogs things up for that pick and roll because it's not like Ben Simmons is going to pick and pop. Or maybe under Stotts he would, and that would be a disaster. And then if Dame's if the rest is basically isolation and a bunch of running around the perimeter, the last place Ben Simmons wants to be is on the perimeter unless he has the ball in his hands. It would not have worked under Terry Stotts.
Do you think Ben's good at the dribble handoff play? Where you'd run the 3-man weave, dribble handoff?
I'm sure. And his guy's probably just like standing at the free throw line, not even moving, like taking the possession off. Like, yeah, I'm chilling. Because he's just going to hand the ball off. And if he doesn't, like, what's he going to do? I'll just wait for him here. Oh, man. Thank goodness. Like, if that happens, thank goodness Terry Stotts is no longer the coach.
We had a couple more donations. JM1231 with another $5 dono. He says, the only somewhat realistic players I would do this for are Siakam, Jaylen Brown, and maybe Jeremy Grant. Plus, I guess that's probably plus other things, but...
Yeah, not Rocco for Jeremy Grant, though. Like, I don't think there's enough of a gap to justify... Like, you don't give up... I wouldn't give up CJ for Jeremy Grant. I think I said I would earlier in the offseason. I've kind of just changed my stance on that. CJ and Rocco, like, no way. No way for him. For Siakam, maybe... I don't know. I like Siakam, man. I like Siakam more than Simmons, so... Maybe, but I would try and get Siakam without trading Rocco. For Jaylen Brown...
It'd have to be like Siakam and Boucher, or we'd have to get somebody else.
You'd have to get somebody else back to help our bench out, or to keep Larry Nance Jr. on the bench. For Jaylen Brown, I mean, that's just... Like, Jaylen Brown's still young and averaged 25 a game last year and is a good defender. You know what I mean? And plays the 3. And you would potentially have, like, a second top 20 player. Like, he's, like, close to being a top 20 player, in my opinion. I think he's underrated. So, if I had to choose out anybody, probably Jaylen Brown.
I don't
But still, giving up Rocco.
not realistic, but yeah.
It's not. It's not. But that was one of my trade ideas was, I think, CJ, Rocco for Jaylen Brown and something else. And then, like, we gave up a pick to Indiana, and Indiana finally got rid of Turner, which they need to do to move Sabonis to center. And Boston would have had, like, CJ, Marcus Smart, Jason Tatum, Robert Covington, and Miles Turner. That lineup would have been interesting. Defensively, you got Rocco, Miles Turner, Marcus Smart, Jason Tatum next to CJ. That would have been a low-key good squad. That would have been a dark horse contender. But yeah, I mean, the only star player that I think is going to be traded this offseason, which is almost over, is Ben Simmons. Like, I'm not even thinking about other names at this point.
Well, Russell Westbrook was already, but yeah.
Well, I mean, like, looking forward to the
yeah.
rest, to the last, like, what, 10 days of the offseason?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Shout out Dro, $2 dono. Ben Simmons doesn't love basketball, you can tell. I also kind of get that vibe, man.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. It just doesn't seem like he's ever really enjoying himself. I don't know. Romp, I want your opinion on that. Does Ben Simmons love basketball? Shout out Dro and JM1231 for the donos. Appreciate you guys.
Thanks, guys.
Like, people will toss out names like Dillon Brooks. That's not happening, and you shouldn't want to trade CJ for Dillon Brooks.
Yeah, the only good thing about Jeremy Grant is he makes like $10 million less than CJ. So, but Detroit would want him, so you'd have to find a third team. So maybe you find a way to get way under the luxury tax, and like I said, you create a trade exception, or you maybe wouldn't have to give up anything else in that trade, so you could maybe use some of your other assets to bring in someone along with Jeremy Grant in that deal. But yeah, there's hard to find a lot of options right now.
Yep. I'm reading chat. I'm not even gonna say anything, but yeah, if Romp versus Reese talking about Ben Simmons, I'm gonna trust Romp. Sorry, Reese. I'm gonna trust the Sixers fan, man. Because Reese wants Ben Simmons. Reese, would you do CJ and Rocco for Ben Simmons? Please say no.
No, he wouldn't.
Good. Okay.
I'm pretty sure he wouldn't.
A lot of the people that really want Ben Simmons, I've seen some of them say, yeah, but I don't want to give up Rocco in the deal. So it's like, okay, yeah, at least we can finally agree. Doesn't most people agree that we shouldn't include Rocco in that trade? Or did you see some people today saying we should?
There are some people who are on the Simmons at any cost type bandwagon.
Just like they were on the Aaron Gordon at any cost bandwagon.
There are some people that say they should give up whatever it takes outside of Dame. Obviously, you can't trade any of the guys we signed this summer. So that kind of limits it. So it'd pretty much have to be Rocco or Nurk or someone like that. But
yeah. So at least maybe we can find. Blazer fans can't agree on anything, man. Mm-hmm. Like, and I'm sure that's probably the case in every fan base, but I don't know. It just seems like, I don't know. Like, didn't every Wizards fan agree that Scott Brooks was bad last year? I don't know. There's probably some Scott Brooks fans out there or something. Oh, we have Scott Brooks. I shouldn't talk bad about him. I forgot.
Jeez, man.
Hey, he's good assistant,
that's our
apparently. So, yeah, I forgot he was even an assistant coach, man. Too many new faces as assistant coaches. They're releasing all these, like, football pre-training camp images, and there's all these like random coaches in it that it's just like, I don't even know who these guys are. Apparently the new video coordinator looks like Will Barton. I don't know if you saw that pic, but yeah, so we have a lot of new faces for the coaching staff. Scott Brooks has an insurance plan? No. No. Don't even put that out there. Don't. Scott Brooks is not. No.
Oh, man.
What?
Yeah, I don't. I'm telling you guys, there's always gonna be the people who will never accept Billups, but in terms of basketball coaching, I think we're going to look back in this and say what a perfect coach he was for this particular team. Yeah.
We'll have a stream when we're like 19-3, and I'll be saying, "See, guys, guess what? We were right."
Told ya.
Oh man, we're not going 19-3. Our schedule is super hard early, but don't panic if we're like 12-10 early, because that's like on pace to win 50 games if you're taking into account how hard our schedule is early. It's rough, man. So, if we're 12-10, you'll probably have the other side of things say, "See, it wasn't a coaching issue," but I don't know. We'll see. It'll take some time to figure things out. Do you have anything else that you want to talk about in terms of the Robert Covington / Ben Simmons trade, or do you want to take questions from chat?
We can take questions from chat.
Give us questions, chat. If you want to see like the schedule breakdown, I dropped a video on the schedule breakdown with an article to accompany it. It's I don't know, just go to the main channel, Blazers Uprise, and go find the schedule breakdown. I set the schedule breakdown to be the video that pops up when you click on the channel page. I felt like that video made sense to be the like main channel page video, so we can like keep track of it as the season goes along.
And for the record, with the Ben Simmons thing, I put Zion now in the same category. Cat maybe could get out of this category if he starts to maybe lead a team or whatever, and personally, I like Cat. It's hard to like get past the whole soft label, I guess, but seems like a good guy. It's just these type of players, Zion and Ben in particular. I'll put Aaron Gordon in that same category. These guys, there's no way these guys should not be unstoppable elite players, especially on offense, and that just to me shows a level of a lack of work ethic and a lack of just focusing on the right things to improve in the off season and caring about other things. And it's funny because like Reese says Zion is unstoppable, but like just think if he was in shape and cared about his body a little more and wanted to be in peak physical condition, improved his jump shot a little bit, and that guy would literally be one of the best offensive players of all time if he just put in a little more work. And it sounds like he just shows up out of shape, doesn't care, like kind of plays his way back into shape. And I know it's crazy. He averaged 28, right? But like it you know what I mean though. Like that guy should be already talking about like a top 10 player in the league, not in the 20s or whatever.
Yeah, I don't know. He had a lot of guys. Here's the thing with him: he had a lot of guys setting him up too. Like he had Lonzo Ball there, and I don't know. I'm forgetting their roster, but Zion. Yeah. Oh God, that doesn't help my case at all. No. I feel like he would maybe struggle a bit in the playoffs because in the playoffs you're allowed to be a lot more physical. And there's not a ton of like nuance or skill to his game. He gets by with just pure athleticism and just strength and finishing ability around the rim. I feel like in the playoffs, teams might be able to neutralize him a little bit more because the refs will let you get away with being a little bit more physical. I wish they would let you get a... What'd you say?
I don't know. He's so good at finishing though.
Yeah, I'm not saying he's gonna go from averaging 27 to 5 points per game. I just feel like he's one of those guys whose game might decline a little bit in the playoffs instead of rise. Right? So
here's the deal though. You look at guys like Dame and CJ, had to battle their whole life for go to small colleges, weren't highly recruited, on the shorter side. I'm sorry, but I'd rather go to battle with guys like that who are going to put in the work to be the best possible versions of themselves they can be, and leave it all on the court. And that when they lose, it's not necessarily because they didn't put in the work to get to that point. Whereas, I mean, for how dominant Zion was last year, they didn't even come close to making the play-in game. There's 10 teams now in the each conference that gets a chance at the playoffs, and they completely failed to even come close to that. Same with, I mean, I guess some of Aaron Gordon's teams snuck into the playoffs too, but that was in the weak East, and they were always 500 or worse or whatever and snuck in to one of the last spots. So I just, those guys, if they had the mentality of a star or like a Kobe type mentality, those guys would be talking about him as being one of the greats. And someone mentioned Luka. Well, Luka has not had a great roster around him, and he's carried that team. So, like, I wouldn't put it's not necessarily that he shows up out of shape or whatever, but it's that he's proven he can carry a team and be the leader of a team. Same with Jokic. I mean, Jokic has Murray go down. They don't miss a beat last year. They still make the second round of the playoffs. They beat us. Like, those guys have proven it. And Zion's still young. He has plenty of time to change this narrative. But, like, some of these other guys, like, I don't want to go to battle with them knowing that they didn't do all they could to prepare for those moments.
Yep. Shout out Gray Hughes investigates $10 dono. He says, keep up the grind. You guys will just get bigger and bigger, and soon after games, everyone will be tuning in here for the truth. Well, after games, it will be on Blazers Uprise, the main channel, but the point still stands. Shout out Gray Hughes. You're the boss, man.
Thanks,
appreciate the dono. As far as... yeah, To Gray's donation, I'm starting to do like picks against the spread graphics for next year. I'm starting to just do those fresh, like create fresh graphics for that. I'm trying to do too much, man, with some of the animations that my software really doesn't let me try and do. So I will, I'm going hard right now trying to think of ways we can make things even better for you guys. So appreciate the support. Next year should be a good one. It's right around the corner. Less than a month till opening night. It's the 23rd of September. That's October 20th. We have FanFest in, 9 days?
Something like that, the second.
Yeah, so that'll be dope. They need to add Root Sports to YouTube TV, though. And also, what if the Mariners make the playoffs because they're only 2 games back out of the wild card spot with 9 games out? If they're playing October baseball, I mean, I guess it's preseason games, but, like, how would that even work? They have so many teams on that network. I'm curious to see how they balance that.
I think they've already announced that Blazers have first priority if there's ever any conflicts, and then...
Over every other team?
On Root Sports?
Yeah.
Yeah, so that was part of
we coming in and just, like...
That was part of their deal with the Blazers, that they had... the Blazers wouldn't have switched to them if they didn't agree to that.
Yeah.
So, but they have like, like on cable, there's like I have Comcast and it's like channel 734 or whatever. Yeah. But there's like a 734-2 and a 734-3, and so they can put those games on Root Sports still. It's just a little harder to find.
They need to add it to YouTube TV. I've got to start looking into a new TV platform, I guess, or something. Really bummed out they haven't done that yet. They've added it to... What was it? What was the streaming service that they added Root Sports to?
Fubo.
I'd, never heard of it. Fubo?
Yeah.
What in the world is a Fubo? I guess I got to get that or something, because I want to be able to watch it on the internet. So, we'll see.
That's what... for all its faults... NBC Sports did have a great app on your phone, so like if I was at work or whatever, I could still watch the game. So I'm kind of worried about how I'm going to watch some of them if I have to be somewhere else. But
you know what teams should do? The NBA should do this. Is like teams have their YouTube channels and whatnot. They should allow you have, there's YouTube memberships and you're able to do streams or videos and set it as members only. Teams should do it where if you're a YouTube member for $5 a month or $10 a month or whatever.
I'm sure that's in their agreement with Root Sports that they're not allowed to do that.
No, and it's probably with other teams. It's just that would be a good idea. And you could just go on YouTube, pay $10 a month to the Blazers channel to be a member of their channel, and then you would be able to, they'd stream games and you'd be able to watch them. That would be something cool in the future, I think, and you'd just be able to watch it straight on YouTube. The comment section for that would be interesting place. I don't know. That's an idea.
There
that's
was a
an
live
idea.
chat.
Yeah,
That's like the
it's a
USA
stream.
basketball, the ones before the Olympics were on a channel like that. Yeah.
Yeah,
Or
most like
on
actually
Twitch or whatever,
official. And, yeah, not illegal and get paid just certain amount a month, and you're not having to pay for all these random channels you may not want from Fubo or whatever. So, I mean, that's an idea that NBA should look into in the future, I think.
But
Hire me.
We have all those national TV games to watch there, right?
Oh, yeah, all our national TV games, man. Even though, like, anything on NBA TV is blacked out, and we play only, 14? No, we don't even play 14.
I think it's 14 including NBA TV, I think.
Yeah, it's like 14
I think it's only
including
like 5 or 6 outside of it.
At least we got Calabro back. At least it's no more Lamar. Or no, not Lamar. Well, I can't remember. Jordan Kent. At least it's no more Jordan Kent. Because, yeah, that was... I did not enjoy that experience last year. Shout out Greg Hughes Investigates for the $5 don't know. He says, what players in the league would you pick to start a team right now over Luka Doncic? I consider him to be one of the top 3 players in the league. Giannis... And I don't know, I would put Giannis above him, but other than that, it's really, really hard to say.
Yeah.
Giannis is just like, you can like have such a good defense with him, and if you just surround him with switchable defenders, like you could do some really good things defensively. Like, yeah, I would choose Giannis, man, because I think Giannis is still getting better at this point. And if he ever figures out how to shoot, just get him the right shooting coach. If he ever becomes like a 37% three-point shooter, he has a chance at being a top 10 player ever. Like, that, how do you guard that dude if he's able to knock down threes at that clip? You already can't guard the dude. He already led the Bucks to a championship. Mm-hmm. If he can hit threes like that, oh my goodness.
Yeah, I guess Luka's almost 5 years younger. I guess that's the only argument.
Yeah.
If you're starting a team, like if you're just picking one player, like you had to win a title this year and you wanted to do it, like Chat mentions, KD would probably be up there. Giannis would certainly be up there in either conversation. But yeah, I'd probably go Luka just because he's only 22, so you still have like 10 more years of prime Luka to build around.
I'm going to make a poll. Here you go, chat. Who would you start a franchise with? Luka Doncic. I almost said Zion Williamson. Giannis. Yeah, watch me spell his name right. I got focus for this one. All right, there you go. Or other. Is there any other guys that you guys think should be in that conversation? Let me know in chat.
See, like Steph, LeBron, KD, those guys are too old. Like, I wouldn't... Yeah. If I was starting my own team, I definitely wouldn't choose someone over the age of, like, 27, 28. Those guys are all in their 30s.
Agree. So, like, Durant, nah.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess you could maybe say Joel Embiid belongs in that conversation, but... He, his injury issues.
Yeah, I would take Luka or Giannis over him.
Yeah,
and that's not hating Embiid at all.
Embiid is probably top 5 in that conversation though, because he's still young enough.
Would you rather have Jokic or Embiid?
Oh man,
because I like Jokic. I mean, once again, not any slander on Embiid. Just Jokic is more durable and just there's so many things you can do with him offensively.
But, like, Embiid, he's not the same playmaker, but everything else offensively, I think Embiid is just as good at, if not better, than Jokic outside of passing. And defensively, Embiid is much better than Jokic. So, I don't know.
Jokic improved a lot last year defense, though.
Jokic is in the... Jokic, Embiid, Luka, and Dame are all in the same tier of players to me right now. Like, they're like second-tier superstars. Like, I hate lists that have Dame below those guys, but, like, as long as he's, like, with those guys,
right,
it's cool. If he's... Who is he, like... He was ranked 11th in Sports Illustrated's list. I don't know who he was under, but...
Well, they had Kawhi ahead of him, which I don't understand... If it's just for this season, why you would include someone who's probably going to miss most, if not all, this season. Like, that doesn't make sense to me.
Here's Reese being the contrarian in chat, making sure he's the opposite of biased for his favorite team, like always. Yeah, that's ridiculous, man. Come on now. For chat, in the poll, 58% have voted Giannis. So
only 28% Luka. Nice.
Good question, Gray Hughes. Good dono question, man.
Yeah.
But
I like those conversations because
if Jokic could defend like Embiid, then sure, but he can't.
Dude, this would never happen. But I always think if there was like, whether it be yearly or just like once, just one time thing, like a few years from now, if the NBA just hit the reset button and had like a fantasy draft and everyone was available, and I don't know how you would determine who got what pick randomly or whatever, but that would be such an event to like see who your team drafted and what players you ended up with, what your team was, and that would just be such, like, growing up is like playing those GM type games on 2K and Madden and stuff like that. That would be insane to think about how you would build a team and what guys you would choose to build around who and all that kind of stuff.
That would have been a fun thing to do with the community, like in September. We're kind of out of time right now, but like that would have been something cool to do. Kind of just give everybody a team, randomize it, and then go through a fantasy draft.
Yeah, we can do that next summer.
Yeah, next summer we'll have to do that. We'll have more time next summer to do something like that. So somebody remind us, like, in August of 2022. All right?
Yeah.
So one person is going to remember and remind us, and they're going to be a legend. But, yeah. Now we got Jokic versus Embiid. Like, I'm cool with people putting Jokic over... Or not Jokic versus Embiid, Jokic versus Dame. Now we have the Jokic versus Dame argument in chat. And I'm cool with people putting Jokic over Dame, but saying he's a whole tier above... Nah. Can't no. Gabe says get 2K, Tori. Get me a PS5 and I'll get 2K, Gabe. I mean, you won't put... What's your thoughts on Jokic is a whole tier above Dame?
Yeah, I mean, after Jokic's season last year, I think you have to put him slightly above Dame. But I wouldn't say that's a tier above him. It's still pretty close in my mind.
Yep. Like, honestly, at this point, I would probably put a healthy Kawhi in that tier as well. He gets injured too much. His defense he's still a really good defender, but he's not the elite defender that he used to be. I have a hard time putting Kawhi a tier above.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like Kawhi just kind of gets put in the tier above because of what he's done in the past, but like now, after he's gonna miss almost this entire season, like he comes back and he's probably in the same tier as Jokic, Dame, Luka, and Embiid, in my opinion.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe that's a hot take, I don't know, but yeah.
How'd you get that fire Robert Covington in a Philadelphia jersey edit?
Dude, I made do you like my jersey edit? I've been, I just hit up my guy Krish. I was like, give me some tips. And,
that was an elite jersey swap.
Yep.
Never seen him in that jersey before.
Oh, wait, he used to play for Philadelphia. So you're telling me I wasted all my time for nothing? Oh, man. Yeah, that was easy. See, I was like thinking, like, I was about to search Robert Covington Philadelphia jersey edit, and then I was like, well, he used to play for him. Robert Covington 76ers, all I had to search. And then Krish made the Simmons one. He Krish is a legend. He's insane. Anyway, chat's still going on, man. Gray, look what you started.
I hope Krish is okay. I asked him a few days ago if his pinky/hand was all right, and he never responded.
He's probably just sad, man, because he can't make edits, so he's probably just off the computer, and I can't blame him. Hopefully he's back for the regular season. I need to give him some cash to make us a new channel banner. because the one we got on this channel is super outdated. Yeah. The one we have on the last one is outdated too. Like, I don't know. I was planning on, like, you know, working with him to get something like that done around now, but he's out of commission, so it's sort of a situation where the channel banner is going to be outdated until he's able to cook up something, because he's so good graphically, dude. Like, he's so naturally talented. I want him to make our channel banner because he can do a much better job than I ever could. Beavis says Chris is never healthy, trade him. See, but when he is healthy, Beavis, he's worth it, man. He's like Joel
Embiid.
Embiid.
He could get healthy someday.
Yep. So, anyway, yeah, I'm not gonna read the Reese stuff right now. I'm not even gonna read that. But, you know, we brainwashed them all, man. Dude, everybody just says what we think, right, Eric? That's the narrative from our detractors. And look at our mod, man. Yeah, this is a cult, apparently. Anyway, any other questions? We said we would take questions, then we got off on a tangent about something.
Well, we're answering questions to do
it. Yeah. See, that's the thing, is normally it's like, we'll take questions and like 4 people will ask a question and one will be like really good. And, well, Gray donated, so I wasn't talking about that one. I was talking about the one before. Like, when we asked for questions, normally we'll do that, and there will be like 4 questions, and we'll take one, and we'll talk about it for like 6, 7, 8 minutes, and forget that we even said to give questions. So, that's the thing, man. We could talk about basketball. We could talk about anything for in depth. Like, we go in depth with all our conversations. At least we tried to. So, final 2 roster spots is a good question, Dro. Who do you want? Rank the training camp guys. Just for who you want on the team.
I hope we keep 2, first of all.
Yes.
And I would put Patterson last. So that means Chris would get one of them. And then I'm kind of torn between Cook and Dennis Smith Jr. I'd probably lean Dennis Smith Jr. right now based on just being younger, upside. I guess they're probably about the same age. No, Cook's a little older. But yeah, so probably lean towards Dennis Smith Jr. Not proven, but showed some flashes of being maybe a good defender last year. So I'd probably lean towards him, but Cook does have 2 rings in the NBA. Not that he contributed a lot. He also won a title at Duke. So guy wins wherever he goes, seemingly. So it's not...
That's not because
I know it's not because of him, but like there's just certain people who I don't know. I mean, they do help in practice and do help.
Yeah,
they are winner, have that winning mentality. So
So you're saying we should sign Patrick McCaw?
We should have signed him, not whatever year he had the 4-year ring streak or whatever.
Yeah, I mean, I'm surprised because you were higher on the Dennis Smith Jr. signing than me, but like I would much rather have Dennis Smith junior on the team than Quinn Cook, because Quinn Cook he's smaller,
right,
and much worse defensively.
Well, I just want to see. I want to see him play like in the system and see. So this could change a lot, obviously, but I'm so happy. This is like the first year we haven't had like basically a set roster. I mean, we've had training camp invitees before, other than last year, pretty much every year. But like most of those guys we knew 100% were not making the team because we already had a full roster. So it's kind of cool that this year there could be up to 2 guys we sign, just based on how they do in training camp and preseason.
But here's the thing with like, if CJ, like we only have 3 guards right now, right? Like in our rotation, because Powell's the starting small forward. Like we have Dame, CJ, and Simmons is kind of our 3-guard rotation at the moment. But like if CJ or Dame or Simmons gets hurt, Powell just takes those guard minutes. So it's sort of a situation where it's like we don't necessarily need to bring in another guard, but if we do, I want to bring in somebody who is different. I don't want to bring in Quinn Cook, who like the only thing he provides is 3-point shooting, and he's a good 3-point shooter. But other than that, like there's no redeeming value in him. He's not a guy that's going to attack the basket, get to the free throw line. He's not really a guy who creates much for others.
He can run an offense.
He can run an offense, but it's like Larry Nance Jr. can run an offense. You know what I mean? I don't know. It's like Larry Nance Jr. isn't going to be your de facto point guard, but he can bring up the ball and he can run pick and rolls and he can initiate a motion offense or whatever. So it's sort of a situation where it's like you have Nance, you have Simmons, you have Dame, you have CJ. I'd rather go out and get like Dennis Smith Jr. could probably initiate an offense, right? Like if Quinn Cook can, I don't see why Dennis Smith Jr. can't.
Right.
So it's sort of a situation where I just want the better defensive player, bigger guard, athletic guy. That's who I'd want instead of just the guy who's a three-point shooter and not much else.
Yeah. Well, Aaron Man says people will be justified if they get mad at Neil if we keep Patrick Patterson. We're still talking about our 14th and 15th guys, so they're probably not going to play.
Bruh, if people are...
If he picks the vet over... Maybe Chris isn't fully recovered from his injury and is looking a step slow or something. I don't know.
If people are mad about Patrick Patterson being our 14th guy, they are trying to be mad.
Yeah.
Like, how are you, like, I could get like, oh, that's not the guy I wanted for the 14th spot. But if you're legitimately mad because Patrick Patterson, a guy who's been in the league 11 years, is our 14th guy, then you're just trying to be upset at that point.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know. I'd probably rank him like Cook is the guy I want on the roster least. Then it's Patterson. Then it's Dennis Smith Jr. Then it's Chris I want the most because I think we need another big.
Yeah.
For depth purposes, and I think Chris is the most talented player out of the four. He does have the question mark being recovered from his injury, but I think he's recovered.
Yeah, he came back and played like the last 2 games of the year last year.
Yeah. So I would rather have Chris than anybody else for sure.
Trying to find.
We'll take one more question or so, and then we'll head off. And
Drummer05 asked the question earlier: can we send Ellaby to the G League? I don't know for sure how they're doing the G League. Last year they had it in the bubble, so we weren't allowed to send anyone down since we don't have our own team. I'm guessing they're.
Why do we? Wait. Hold on. Sorry. Okay, finish that. I just gotta. You made me want to rant right now.
Okay. We don't have a G League team, so I'd be surprised if we send anyone down this year because it's kind of weird sending a player to another team and doing all that kind of stuff. So much like we talked about at the beginning of this stream, I think we're going to play it pretty close to the vest and keep all the guys in-house so we don't have to worry as much about them coming back and possibly have, been exposed to COVID and ruining the whole season for the team.
Why don't we have our own G League team? We're like the only team. Bro, Mexico City's getting a G League team.
Yeah.
And now you have like G League Ignite. And I think Denver finally got a G League team. We're like the only franchise without a G League team. Why in the world do we not have a G League team?
Us and Gabe.
I thought the Suns did.
I'm pretty sure they...
Did they get rid of them?
I don't know. I think it was us. There was 3 teams, I think. I don't know. Maybe. Yeah, Gabe says Suns don't.
Gabe, why don't our teams have G League teams, man? I don't get it. What does it hurt? Like, what's the downside to having a G League team? I don't understand. We're that cheap? We didn't have it when we had Paul Allen either.
We had one for like 2 years or something, the Idaho Stampede.
And then got rid of it under Paul Allen, so... Yeah. And Paul Allen just didn't care about how much basketball cost. I don't understand it.
Because then Neil would have to be bothered to fill the G League.
Oh my goodness. As if they don't delegate that responsibility to other people, because a lot of G League teams do. Like, oh my goodness.
I think they have their own GMs.
Yeah. Jeez. That's annoying to me, man. That's annoying to me. Every team should have a G League team, and the draft should be 4 rounds long.
That'd be cool.
Yeah. And then the rounds 3 and 4 are day 2, and that's for basically the G League team. That would be interesting though. Like not for casual fans could care less, right? But for me and you, like we pay attention to the draft and all these obscure players and whatnot. That would be fun. Like who are we gonna draft in the 3rd and 4th rounds? And maybe that's you'd have 3rd round picks, 4th round picks to trade. That should be a thing. The NBA should just make it mandatory because it's like they're pitching the G League to high school prospects and saying, yeah, you should come to the G League instead of going to college. Like as if the G League's a better option and some great thing. Okay, well, if the G League's some great thing, then just make it so that all your organizations have to have a G League team. It's not like that'd be a big deal because 28 of them do.
Yeah.
You just go to Portland and Phoenix, like, get a G League team, and we're expanding the draft. That could be a possibility in the next CBA.
Hey,
I would love it.
Blevins could have a permanent home on our G League team.
Exactly, man. And put the G League up here in Vancouver, Washington. Give us a G League team, man. I will do the commentary for the G League team. I'll be the general manager for the G League team. Shoot, I would apply for that. And then if I don't get that, then I'd like try out for the G League team. You know what I mean? Like, shoot, I'll do it all. I don't know, like just put it in a suburb around Portland somewhere. Keep it close so you can send a guy like an Ellaby down. So like if Blevins gets bored, like, okay, Blevins, are you bored? Here, go play for the Vancouver Vampires for a game. Have some fun, man. I don't know. Vancouver Volcanoes is already taken by a semi-league pro team because that's a perfect name for a G League team in Vancouver.
Mm-hmm.
Trevin's trying to get a 5-minute ban right now. No. Do you care as much as me, or do you just like whatever?
I mean, I'd like to have it. I think, like you said, it'd be cool if there was like a minor league system so you had the rights to the players on your own G League team and you could send players up and down freely throughout the season. I think that would be cool. But, yeah, I mean, I'm not going to lose sleep over it or anything.
I mean, I'm not losing sleep over it. It just doesn't make sense. And stuff that doesn't make sense to me, just, I don't know. It's just, I don't like it. Anyway, people are going to start trying to get bans right now. You got Zach, you got Dro insulting my city. That's a no-go. That's a non-starter. So 5-minute ban for Dro, 5-minute ban for
you
Zach.
You get banned for saying Bantucky?
You trying to get banned, Eric?
Yeah. No, I mean, like, growing up, that's what...
Thank you, guys.
That's what everyone referred to it.
It's an insult.
I know.
It's because you're comparing us to freaking Kentucky, man. We're not freaking Kentucky.
Bit, but,
yeah. Dude, the area I live is, like, basically Vancouver. It's, like, 5 minutes away from downtown. There's no, like, fields even in between. It's just all, like, urban area, but we're not technically annexed as part of Vancouver. If we were, we'd be the second biggest city in Washington. Bigger than Tacoma and bigger than Spokane. So people act like it's small or something. Dude, we got... it's not small, man. Come on. It's not Kentucky. Shoot, we might be the... Oh, you got Louisville, I guess. But because it ain't Kentucky. Don't... Vantucky, I hate that.
You know, it's a bigger city than anyone in Kentucky.
Yeah, I forgot
about to slip up and say that.
Well, dude, I stopped myself. Like, Louisville, yes, I know my geography. And that's how I know that Vancouver is not Kentucky. All right? And he said Gresham. They put it in Gresham before Vantucky, man.
Yeah, I agree. Gresham sucks, too.
Malcolm says Vancouver is a suburb of Portland. Deal with it. I never said Vancouver was bigger than Portland, did I? Obviously, it's the biggest suburb of Portland, man. Don't come for my town, man. I hate people from Portland that never go to Vancouver that act like they know what it's like, man. There's some bad areas, some meh areas. There's some cool areas. And our waterfront is like higher ranked in the country than Ben Simmons is on top 100 player lists. So, anyway, yeah, Reese trying to get back on my good side after saying Jokic was a tier above Dame.
Well, yeah, I mean, People from Portland don't really have much to say right now.
I know. Yeah, I mean, I don't even want to get into that, man.
Yeah.
I understand Portland has some issues, but I think a lot of people don't realize that every city has issues, and every city has bad things about it. And people haven't lived elsewhere. There's a lot of people that hate on Portland that haven't lived elsewhere, that don't know what it's like elsewhere. So I don't know. Like, I'm not going to trash Portland as a city too much, man, because there's issues elsewhere. There's some things we gotta fix for sure, but I'll just leave it at that.
Hey, Tori, did I tell you I met Jackson the other day?
Jackson told me he met you.
Yeah, nice.
He said you were a big jerk.
That is cap.
How was
super
it?
nice, and I think I was nice back. At least
You think you were? You should know you were nice, Eric.
Well, I mean, I'm pretty sure I was nice. Yeah.
Yeah.
But he very graciously gave me a hookup at his work. It was nice. Nice. Yeah. Cool. Yep. Took my son out to have
Don't say where he works. Don't say where.
No,
don't dox Jackson.
I'm not doxing him. I'm saying I took my son out. We had a fun one-on-one night last Friday, and just happened to want to go to a place that Jackson works at, and it was cool that he was working, so I got to meet him.
Yep. Family Guy Eric Brandt.
So now
inspirational.
I've met 2 of the 4 mods.
I've met 0.
I'm sure I'll meet Zach someday.
And you'll never meet Trevin or ever hear his voice.
It would be an upset if we ever meet Trevin in person.
Dude, that'd be shocking, man. We'd have to document that. It'd be like seeing like Bigfoot in the wild.
I might have to yeah, never mind. I'm not going to say that out loud.
Yeah, I don't know why. What? We getting too late in the stream? Are you saying we should?
Let's just say I could possibly contact his mom to set something up if we really wanted to find out if Trevin was real or not. But
oh my goodness, that's not good. That's a terrible idea. Stop.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. That's like some stalkerish
I know,
behavior.
I was totally joking that.
Yeah, but yeah. Anyway, anything else you want to say, Eric?
No. No, I've not met Chiefin yet because every time I've invited him to ball, which is twice, he's bailed or come up with some excuse.
Chiefin's all bark, no bite, man. He doesn't want the smoke.
Yeah, I'm just going to show up at Trevin's house.
Dro wants to be put back in timeout, so there you go, Dro. Of course, man.
I was just about to ask Dro a question, but never mind.
Well, not my fault. He asked for it. He said we gotta get a hoop session planned.
Yeah.
Next summer, hopefully everything's under control. Here's the thing: if we do a hoop session, I will have to I don't know. I want to rent out 2 courts for 2 hours, but that's gonna cost money. I don't know. Hopefully we get enough people to offset that, but it's I want to do that every weekend or every couple of weekends, but it's I can't be paid $200 a weekend to rent out a gym, man.
Alex Wolf is Chiefin's hype man or something. Says he'll be yamming on some fools.
I almost dunked in the game on Tuesday, so I'd be yamming on Chiefin, not the other way around.
Yeah, I almost touched the bottom of the net tonight, so. No.
Just kidding, you were far off. You can touch the bottom of the net without jumping, huh?
Almost, yeah, just about.
Almost? Because I think I can, and you're taller than me.
Does
that mean that my standing reach is taller than yours, even though you're taller than me?
That's possible.
I didn't know that was possible.
I'm automatically a better defender because I'm 2 inches taller.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Because that's what matters.
Yeah, dude, that's what matters. Me and Eric, I feel like there's people that listen to this and just like, what in the world are you guys talking about? It's just Twitter stuff. It's just good old Twitter stuff. If you don't follow us and you want to be in the loop, follow me at Tori Jones YT. Follow Eric at Hoopsjock. Follow the channel at Blazers Uprise YT. If you don't know how to spell my name, because a lot of people that have watched me for a long time and follow me on Twitter still somehow manage to misspell my name. There you go. Eric is at Hoopsjock. Also known as Hoops Jerk.
Yeah, that's me. No, like seriously, I was thinking the other day, you know what? I'm gonna try really hard. I'm not gonna like engage with anyone negatively. I'm gonna be positive this year. I'm not gonna like get in Twitter arguments because it's like seriously, it's such a waste of time, right? Mm-hmm. And we could just bash them on here later. And then I have to read you getting in an argument and some guy trying to tell you that standing reach is equal to height. And I was like, dude, what are you talking about? Like it's one thing to like if you want to base an argument on like points and stuff like that, but when you try to say, and then he tried to say I had a reading problem when that was exactly what he said. Like, I don't know.
Yeah, oh my god. Dude, I wake up every day and tell myself that. I'm like, I'm gonna be positive today. I'm gonna be friends with everyone. And at the end of the day, yeah, that's just not the case. It's dude, it's just hard with some people sometimes because you can, like, I like to debate basketball. So, like, I'll debate basketball with somebody and they'll, like, turn it into something like, well, Norm's standing reach probably has more views than your channel does.
I know, like, that doesn't make any sense. And it's not factually accurate.
It's just like, oh my goodness, dude. It's like, you can't avoid personal. You can't talk basketball on Twitter and avoid the personal stuff. It's just not possible, man. You can try as hard as you want. It's just not possible. So, I mean, but people like arguments. Aeromancer likes arguments as well, apparently. I mean, yeah. Romp uses Twitter to slander Ben Simmons. we know.
I've seen that.
Oh,
Romp's so funny.
And I tweeted out the other day, I'm like, Blazer fans that want Ben Simmons need to read some stuff from 76ers fans. And I was thinking about you, Romp. I was thinking about you, man. But yeah, make sure to follow us on the Twitter.
Romp was on a cool show that had like a Bulls fan and there was like 4 different teams fans. Those kind of streams are cool to watch.
Romp does cool stuff, man. He dropped a Nas video that I thought was pretty good. Might put my player review to shame. I'm going to have to really try on that one. Granted, I've only done 2 players that are really hard to do I said review. I've done 2 players that are hard to do player previews for. LMU was really, really hard, and Greg Brown's a rookie that I already did a video on, but I just wanted to do them for everybody's part of the series. So it'll get easier. Mm-hmm. There's a reason those videos were 7 minutes long, which are like the shortest videos I think I've ever uploaded. But yeah, as far as Romp goes, go subscribe to Romp. Romp 2.0. Just search it. What's up, Dro? What did you want to ask, Dro?
Oh, I was going to say, does he live in the Portland area to ball if we ever did that?
Oh, yeah. There you go, Jerome.
Now that it's not super hot, I mean, I know it has been a couple days this week, but might be okay weather to meet at a park or something. I
hate playing outside, man.
I know you do, but it'd still be fun just to play for free and just meet everybody. It's like, that's more important than whether you're hitting shots on a double rim or whatever.
Dude, it's hard on the knees, man.
Yeah.
It's just...
Oh, I know,
then
man.
Can't shoot, and I'm slipping on dirty pavement, and...
Did you see the crew that posted a video of them playing hoops?
Let's not talk about this.
I want so badly to find out where they're playing sometime. Pull up you and me.
That would be so bad.
Us 2 on those versus those 8. You think we could take it?
Yeah. Yeah, as long as we get to call fouls.
Yeah.
But I don't know, man. That'd be so bad. We would look obsessed if we just showed up. That would be such a horrible look, dude. Like we would deserve getting heat from them if we just like found out where they're
Alright, I was joking.
Eric's on his stalker vibe tonight. Yeah, all jokes. Yeah. I'm trying to like rein you in here. Looks like I got a rein in chat too. Anything
Beavis
else
is
here?
talking crap to you.
I hear Beavis talk about basketball, and it just makes me laugh, man. So I'm just gonna laugh at that too. Why does Alex Wolf keep coming in talking about a candy necklace?
Because he is obsessed. Because we were talking about having one on some game during picks against the spread our first year, and he really wants one of us to eat a candy necklace on stream.
Yeah. I mean, I kind of knew what he was talking about, but he's like done it like 4 streams in a row, and it's just
mad
like
that
what?
We haven't done it yet.
It's off season, like well, I don't know.
We never had any like punishment or whatever for losing.
Yeah, I don't know. We gotta put something on the line this year. Here's the thing. Okay, so that actually.
Oh sure, now that you didn't lose, you're gonna put.
Dude, I said like in the middle of last season we could put something on the line, and you didn't want to, and then you won. So I don't want to hear.
Yeah, Zach paid for you to eat nachos on a stream, and you never did that either.
Dude, he just dropped a random dono and said eat nachos. Like I'm not. I don't just do whatever anybody says for like $5.
I think it was more than that.
Unless I said I would do it. I mean, I don't know. I did the hot wing. I'll do another hot wing. I did the hot wing, but I will do another hot wing in place if I said I would do that. And yeah, I'll drop a rap too. But I offered to pay that guy back. I can't record music here. I'm not the only person in this house, man. I'm not about to start rapping and yeah, that's just a no-go for me. But yeah, when I move, which is just let's not talk about that.
That beat from the free agency stream makes me want to rap.
glad to hear that, man. Well, I'll have to bring you on a feature, man. I'll bring you on the Moraine diss track. Oh man.
Yeah, Zach's right. It was $50, and you did say you would do it beforehand.
Okay. Do you want a hot wing, Zach?
No,
will that suffice? Or do you really want me to eat some nachos? Because that's just gross and just not. That's just weird. And we're also when did I really say that? What? Oh God, I gotta do something, or I gotta pay him back. Then
you used to say that all that was that theme that
everything that
early
I said
on in Blazers Uprise.
Yeah, see, but I offered to pay back I'm offering right now to pay back the 50 for Zach, or we could switch it up and we could do the hot wing. I'll eat another hot wing if you want, or something else that'll.
You've already done that though, so it's
I know I've already, but bro, I don't want to do it again. I don't want to do it again.
You can get like a little thing of nachos from Taco Bell. He doesn't want the money, he needs the ASMR.
Dude, we were getting like, I think when I said that we were getting like 20 concurrent viewers. We are 1 hour and 48 minutes into the stream. We still have 154 people in here, Eric. We're not at 18 viewers anymore. I'll get drunk for a stream. How about that? I'll get drunk for the first. I don't want to get drunk for the first post-game show.
I've never rewatched the Stotts Spiring stream. I'd like to.
I looked on Reddit. Okay, so I looked on Reddit because there was some thread about like best podcasts, and like every time somebody talks about that, we do get brought up. And one guy was like, something like, Tori's really annoying, but Eric's great though. And then somebody else was like, yeah, do you remember when Eric got drunk on stream? That was the best.
That's awesome.
I'm just like, well, at least they like one of us. But yeah, so you had somebody saying that was the best, man. So, I don't know. I have offered to pay back the guy for the rap, but I will drop that because I actually want to try doing that because I think I could actually be okay I'm a hip hop rap fan, so I don't know. Maybe it'll be bad. We'll see. But I'll actually try and make something legitimate. I'm not gonna just half do it. So at some point that'll be a thing. Honestly, because I kind of just want to try it.
See,
but I did offer to pay the guy back because it had been a while.
This is why it won't happen, is because you're too much of a perfectionist. So if you do it and it's not good, you'll never release it. So, whereas like if I mess around and make a rap to that beat, like I don't care. I'll let you guys listen to it.
Yeah, I mean I'll drop something. I don't know, dude. But you don't want to give the haters ammo. You know what I mean? So.
If someone wants to hate at me because I goofed around on a rap song, I don't care.
Touche. All right. I don't know. One day.
I'm gonna make an intro song to Blazers Uprise Live.
You think you're like Meek Mill with First Take? Or no, who is that? Exactly. Wale or whoever it was?
Whoever it was, yeah.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah. If I rhyme something about you scoring 2.2 in college, would you not?
You're gonna make me ban you right now. Shut up.
Would you ban? Would you ban?
Yes.
Oh man.
Yes.
I have such a good line thought of, but it requires me saying that, unfortunately. And if you take yourself too seriously, it'd be funny.
All right, guys. Applications are open for a new co-host.
Yeah, Bust the Bucket version 2. It's like, never mind.
I need to set up the scene where it's just me on screen, so because right now I just want to banish you from the stream right now.
Okay.
I'm upset.
Oh no.
I'll just come up with a line with the 0.0 in it. How about that?
Okay. Yeah. I mean, it's like the rabbit from 8 Mile thing, you know, like diss yourself, so it's funny, you know, like then the haters can't diss you because you already dissed yourself.
See, I don't want to lie though, you know. I'm just kidding.
Saying that Tori scored 2.2 in college is not.
Bro, but that's kind of a flex if you think about it.
I know.
But also, stop saying that number. If I went back year 2, it would have been like 12.2. Okay.
It's a little harder to like
on like a 3-30 team.
I mean, this line doesn't work if I'm like, oh, per 36 it was 12.8 points per game. Like, I don't know.
Dude, Romp is playing college basketball this year. Romp, you better average more than 2.2, okay? All right, man. Here, it's 2.2 more points than LeBron. You're right, Zach. You're right. Need more stat. Dude, college... My 1 year of college basketball did not go well, all right? My knees couldn't take it. I'm just going to be straight up honest with you, which sounds like an excuse. I'm not saying I would have played better. Like, I don't know, dude. I don't have the best knees. It was not fun. But my per 36 numbers... my 2 best games came against the same team, and it was the team that won the championship. All right, for like all Washington and Oregon.
When Torrey got minutes.
Yeah, and it was the 2 games I got more than 15 minutes. I had 12 points in both games. So, I don't know. I was not confident enough. I was not used. I never came off the bench before. I wasn't used to it. I knew that if I made a mistake, I was getting pulled out. So I can empathize with people in that situation, man. I'd never been in that situation, and then it was just like I couldn't. I wasn't used to it, so I didn't have enough confidence, to be honest. Yeah, when I played with confidence, I played pretty well. I hit 3 straight threes in like the course of like 4 or 5 minutes. That's probably the height of it, but yeah. But we had a good team, so I mean, I don't blame the coaching staff or anything. Like, I probably wouldn't have played me more. It just sucked for me. We had a deep team. We had a ton of good players. We had like probably 12 guys that would start for the average team in our league. So it's what it is.
See, I would have rapped like something about you always bringing up how you played in college, but you don't do that as much lately, so it wouldn't make as
Why
much
do you
sense.
think I don't do that, Eric? I wonder why, man.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I just please, like, let's not go here. You know, I don't want to be here. All right, that's why we need to get runs so people know I'm not some scrub, man. Because you got guys like Chief in here, like yeah. I've been playing good lately. I've been playing better than I did for. I think I'm playing my best basketball since I was in college.
Nice.
But I'm also like a completely different player. I don't know. I was not a passer. I didn't pass. I didn't have good vision in college. Now that's my best skill. So I'm just a different player. I'm fatter, slower, but like footwork's better. So I can still kind of get to spots and make plays. So
yeah. I just hope my knee's okay. I've never had knee. As a big guy, I've never really had problems.
So you hurt your knee tonight. Was it just like a individual play, or was it?
No,
just
it was
like.
So I've been playing, like I said, 3 times a week, and it's just progressively gotten harder to like run on it every time I play. And tonight it just culminated in it started hurting really bad. It wasn't even like I tweaked it or anything. It just started becoming painful. So I don't know. That probably means it's nothing like serious, but yeah.
Yep. Viva says Tori's Jokic right now. I like to think I'm more Luka.
I'm more Jokic than.
Yeah. Yeah. I haven't seen you fully healthy though. Yeah. So I'm still waiting to see, the extent of this Jokic-ness you possess.
Dude, I was diming people out. Still, with my knee, without being able to move, I still throw dimes.
Eric definitely plays like David West.
That's I don't shoot mid-range jumpers.
That's such a
yeah.
I've started shooting
all
a lot.
Mid-range.
Here's the problem. Like, I cannot shoot a mid-range, like, just dribbling straight into it and pulling up. I have no touch. But if I'm going right and I, like, spin back to the middle, spin back left, and fade, I am actually pretty efficient at that. Or if I, like, kind of one-legged fadeaways, I'm much more efficient at than just dribbling into mid-range shots. So...
I don't like catch and shoot mid-range, like, if I'm open. But I do like dribbling, like, right around the free throw line. Elbow area, dribbling into it, but I just don't shoot them very often.
Yeah, like I'm crazy efficient shooting off one leg fadeaways. Much more efficient than any other type. Catch and shoot mid-range shots, nope. Pulling up into mid-range shots, nope. So I never really shot mid-range, but now I'm like figuring out like, okay, how can I attack and then get to my back foot fadeaway, which is kind of weird because it's like I'll have a chance to pull up, but I'll like cross over to my left just so I can push back onto my left foot and fade away because it's just more efficient. So yeah, I've been adding that to the bag. I feel like that's kind of Luka-ish. That's who I've been watching because he likes a lot of those one leg mid-range fadeaways. So I've been trying to like take some of his footwork on them and add it because people used to just like, if I'm hitting threes, they guard me at the 3-point line. I'd start to drive and they just run to meet me at the rim, and I couldn't counter it. So it's like that's what mid-range is good for. It's good for keeping defenses honest. That's why I don't buy into the whole analytical age, like never shoot mid-range shots. It's the least efficient shot. You got to keep the defense honest, right? If they run you off the 3-point line and they can just run to the rim and meet you there, you're not going to be able to get to the rim. If you're able to hit a mid-range shot, they have to stay up on you. That gives you a better chance of getting fully by them and getting to the rim. So it's not like by itself on its own, it's not the most efficient shot. It's probably the least efficient shot, but it can help you get more layups. It can help keep the defense honest. And it's never been correlated, like teams that shoot more mid-range shots, hasn't been correlated with them having less efficient offenses. So, mid-range is still a viable weapon.
Dro said you're washed up Luke Babbitt. That's actually not washed up, but Luke Babbitt's not a terrible comparison. I know he wasn't like great in the NBA, but you do kind of play like him, like college year Luke Babbitt. he was kind of like an all-around, decently athletic, could score off the dribble. Yeah, could shoot threes. Luke Babbitt in college.
I'm looking up his college stats. In 37 minutes per game, he averaged 1.8 assists per game.
Okay.
Or no, his senior year was 2.1. I don't know. I mean,
2.2.
He averaged 2.1.
Oh,
Eric.
2.1. I didn't hear you last part. I was just asking for correction.
He averaged 21.9 points per game though, so I'll take it. I guess college Luke Babbitt. I like Luka though. That's who I'm modeling my game after right now. No, I'm not. Why you gotta, bro? Like, even if that's not a diss, because his last year in college he was nice, like he was real nice. So that's not diss, but people in chat are gonna turn it into a diss. Tory Babbitt,
Chalupa Babbitt.
Oh,
I mean,
goodness.
I don't know. Honestly, comparing yourself to any NBA player outside of Keljin Blevins is not a diss at all.
You're Shemek Karnowski.
I don't know who that is.
He was the starting center when Zach Collins was on Gonzaga when they made the championship game. That Polish guy.
Oh, okay.
But he would have he didn't pass a ton because he didn't get opportunities, but he would have some nice passes and was just big and just dominated people. And he was nice in college. So the thing is, nobody knows how to spell his name, so you won't get your first name thrown onto his last name.
Yeah.
So. But see, Rob said getting called Luke Babbitt is worse than 2.2 points per game. I told you. I thought you were talking about NBA Luke Babbitt. I was like, that's...
Rob's got some Luke Babbitt in him, too. No, I'm just kidding.
Everybody's Luke Babbitt. I want... Romp, for your channel, could I do, highlight breakdown commentary of your games? That would be dope. That would be funny.
Rob's got to get us a stream or something of one of his games.
Yeah, at least a stream. But I would love to just break down footage and just gas him up on his channel. Oh my goodness. I'm just kidding. But if you want, I'll be your biggest hype man. Ryan Arcidiacono. Okay, there's a name. He signed with who did he sign with today?
I didn't see much.
Boston? I don't know.
Sam Chudley had a nice comment for us earlier. He said, first stream I've caught in a while. Nice to see you guys working hard, making good content for us Blazer fans. Thanks for watching, Sam.
Appreciate you, Sam. Appreciate you, man. There's about to be a hurricane, Sam, so shout out to Sam.
Cherokee Parks.
Are you beating Terrence Jones one-on-one? No.
LiAngelo is the cutoff.
Yeah, LiAngelo was the cutoff. I always appreciate people that don't comment much in chat or, haven't watched in a while and they come in and just, say stuff like that.
Yeah.
Because it's I recognize everybody's names in chat. You know what I mean? So I know all you guys, but I know there's people that watch us that don't comment in chat. And it's just
or they maybe watch it afterwards.
Yeah, or watch it afterwards. But we got 140 people in here. There's not 140 people typing in chat. So there's definitely people out there that just don't comment in chat. It's always cool to hear from people that, don't comment much or don't comment at all. It's always really cool to me. It's always appreciated. What's up, Carson?
What's up, Carson? Where you been?
Adam Smith said, what did I miss in 1.5 hours? I mean, we talked about Robert Covington. We talked about, stream topics for a good, hour and 20 minutes, and then the last 40 minutes has been,
off the rails.
throw it back to the post-game shows year one, where, an hour through, we'd always go off the rails for an hour, man.
Zach, I guarantee you I know the answer to that question.
For you or for me?
For you.
I mean, without proof to the contrary, I'm just gonna assume I'll 141.
You think you can beat Romp?
Romp could beat me in a 1v1. Like, I could beat Romp, but it'd be competitive. Because Romp's legit. So it's like, beating for sure is different than, like, that I could possibly beat. You know what I mean? So, like, Romp would be a battle. Gabe, on the other hand... No, just kidding. No fans for Romp. There will be a stream every game. He'll send me a link if he's in the rotation. All right. You should be in the rotation. Don't make me call your coach. I'm just kidding.
I don't know, Zach. I'll say 130. I don't know.
100. What a nice number, man. Nice number.
I don't like playing one-on-one.
Right now with your knee, though?
Right this second, I still probably beat 130. Right. But yeah, I don't know.
See, like,
one-on-one's boring to me. I love the nuances of passing and playing off of other people, so I use a lot of that in my game.
Roger says, Tori, let's ball sometime, bro. Man, just if you come down to Lakeshore Athletic Club on a Tuesday or Thursday, I shouldn't say where I play, but if you come down to Lakeshore Athletic Club, man, if you want to get in to like a rec league game, I can't say that we'll have sub spots, but if you want to, then I think it's like $15 to get in. So if you want to, man. Did you play at Prairie though? That's my question. Prairie versus River. Dude, I hated playing Prairie. They just 2-3 zoned, and I would get stuck on the baseline because I didn't get to play on the perimeter enough. And yeah, I never played well against Prairie. Romp says his biggest concern is confidence. But if you're one, go ahead.
That's definitely one of Tori's strengths. When he's in the mindset.
My confidence wavers in my 3-point shot, but I've been a lot more confident lately than I was like before the pandemic.
But like, when you're confident and when you shoot with confidence, you're usually pretty good.
I've started pulling up from like 30 and making probably like 30 to 40% of them. Probably closer to 30, but like enough to justify it. So like at this point, I don't know. I'm shooting with more confidence than ever, even though like my shot isn't as good as it's ever been, because it's kind of just like, screw it, I have to shoot with confidence. So like I have a lot of guys that'll just shoot on my team that play fast and just get shots up. So it's like, if I shoot a 30-footer, nobody's complaining. So I'll just pull up from 30 and I hit it enough where it's just like, yeah, I can hit from 30. So, but I work on it too, man. I'll work on it.
My biggest problem is I'm way too unselfish. Like I'll wait like 5 seconds to like look for an open guy or wait for a cutter or something is when I could just like score easily, you know.
For me, it's just attack and read. That's how I play. Just try and attack, try and read. I get a lot of like help on me, so I'll just try and always have vision of everybody I'm playing with and know where guys are helping from. That's just kind of the key for me. And then I got enough where it's like I can score through a second defender or stop and turn to a fadeaway or that type of stuff. So that's just kind of how I try and play.
Reese asked, since I know him, if I could beat him one-on-one. I mean,
dude,
I'm not trying to talk crap or anything, but
Reese should ask that question.
I mean, I don't know. I don't know how you would stop me from getting to the basket. Maybe you could get by me sometimes. If your shot was on, like one of the times I played Torrey, I've had to kind of sag off him and let him shoot. So if you hit threes, I guess you could beat me. But yeah, I don't know.
Who would win in a 1v1, Eric? Me or you, man?
That's easily Torrey, especially now.
I can't say her and say me, man. But I feel bad. I don't feel right about that.
No, you don't need to. You don't need to feel bad about it. If I was Tori's age,
and I were your age,
no,
then you would win.
If I was in my, if I was 19 to 24-ish, like my peak basketball years, I would definitely give myself a chance. But yeah, like I said,
it'd be competitive.
Yeah.
It'd be competitive if Eric was still in his prime. But yeah, I mean, we'll never know, sadly.
Yeah. I just hope I get to a point where I can actually play without pain now. Because I love playing. That's I don't know. I hate doing any other kind of exercise. So
BJL is going to have to rewind stream at some point. Ron says he forgets mid-range exists. It's a rim for a three for him. Just try and get comfortable shooting one-leg fadeaways, because you can kind of take your time to get your grip right on the ball. I can't pull up into shots, but if I'm driving right and get cut off, I can pick up the ball, get a good grip on it, take my time, and then turn to my back-legged fadeaway, spin back to the right and fade away like that. Nobody's blocking that, and nobody would probably block you if you're shooting that. So definitely try and add something like that for sure. How tall is Eric? 6'7". Maybe 6'8". That's the one thing. I'm just kidding. He's 6'6".
I'm 6'6" without shoes. So.
That's the one thing Jackson said. He's like, I didn't realize Eric was so tall. I knew he was tall, but I didn't realize he was, he's taller than I thought. So yeah, Eric's tall, man.
I'm 6'6", 280, right? Man, if I lost 30 pounds.
BJL, you did. Yeah, Reese, it was a joke, man. People have told me to videotape my rec league games, man, but
well, okay. So Jackson's saying I look taller than 6'6", and Reese is saying there's no way I'm 6'8". So
I mean, Jackson, that's just because you're short, man. He's 6'6".
Yeah, Aeromancer has a good point. I'm basically Zion's height and weight. That's crazy.
I know, dude. What are you doing wrong, Eric?
I don't know. Well, there's this thing called COVID and Achilles surgery and my foot
otherwise
pain
you jump up him.
Yeah. Otherwise, I'd be averaging 28 points a game on insane efficiency.
Anyway, we still got 140 people in here, man. I miss the days of just kind of going off the rails with stuff and talking to chat. Normally it goes like this. Normally it just ends up being a basketball conversation and when are we gonna play 1-on-1 for the channel? And it's just COVID sucks, and that's how the convo goes, man. So film your rec league game and go over the film on stream. I just feel weird about filming my rec game.
Yeah,
man. That's just weird to me. I had somebody in my rec league say that, but it's yeah, I just feel weird about it. And here's the thing, film doesn't do you justice. Because in terms of film, you guys are used to watching NBA players. So if you're watching on film somebody like me, I don't know, and you're used to watching NBA players on film.
Yourself.
I mean, that's just kind of the way I've felt it is with other people. Watching other people play and watching them on film, it's just I'm used to watching NBA players, so it's just oh, okay, they're all right. And then you play against them, and they're nice, legit. So that's the thing. If you go and watch a D2 basketball game, it's just gonna look this isn't that good. You go play in a D2 basketball game, and you're gonna be completely just lost. I mean, not everybody, but most people. It's just going to seem insane. People don't realize how good D2 basketball players are and how good D2 basketball is. So, I want to get pickup run, man. That'd be dope. But
speak for yourself, my film footage, other than me, laboring up and down the court behind everyone. But once I get the ball, it's like I said, it looks like Jokic out there.
Okay. Okay, I believe you. I've seen it. I've guarded it, man. Impossible to guard. He's like Shaq plus Jokic with Cat's jumper. Unstoppable. Have you guys thought of clipping good commentary from the lives and posting it to the main channel? We've done that a little bit in the past. Like, I always, like, during a stream, I'll be like, ooh, this would be a good clip for the main channel, and then I forget about it, so.
Yeah.
You know, that's why people just gotta watch the lives, man, because there's a ton of good conversations. So, if people want to miss out, that's on them.
We talked about that earlier, Roger. We both want Dennis to make it, but we also want to, or at least I want to see how they play.
I mean, Kelvin Blevins would destroy all of us. Dude, maybe I'm delusional. I feel like I would have a slim chance of beating him one-on-one. Like, I don't know. Like, if everything broke right, I just gotta make some threes, right? I'll just stand out there at 30 feet, and if I'm on, I can hit maybe like 4 out of 5 from 30, and if he's not making threes, I mean, you know. I beat D1 players before, one-on-one. I've beaten a couple D1 players, so they're much better than me, and, you know, 8, 9 out of times I'm not winning, but I have beaten D1 players before one-on-one, and that's probably the equivalent of Blevins, so, yeah. I don't know. Let's set it up. Let's do it. Somebody get in contact with him and bring LiAngelo too. Bring him too, man. I'm not gonna let him post me up from the 3-point line. Every time I talk about like beating LiAngelo 101 or Kelvin Blevins, Eric just gets so quiet.
Yeah. I mean, I said one time that if you gave me a chance, I could possibly score once on Hassan Whiteside in the post, and that got taken way out of context. So I'm just gonna. That's why I just.
Bro, that's Hassan Whiteside. That's a 7-footer with like a 7'7" wingspan in the post. Man. I know. I'm talking about Blevins, but yeah. I mean, if you said you could score on like Earl Boykins in the post, I would believe you.
I mean, that's I don't know.
I'm sure you could score on Quinn Cook in the post.
Dude, I hate shorter guys though. They push off down low and it throws off your balance.
You just got to punish them for it. No mercy.
Yeah. Good night, Tyler. Have a good one. But no, full context for those that don't know. I said that Hassan will go for a pump fake, or he'll definitely try to block my shot if we're ever in that situation. He would try to attack my crap. So I could definitely get him to fall for a pump fake at least once and possibly then score on that. But
yeah, and here was the problem with that. Hassan
he could still block it, yeah.
He could block your shot without jumping. That's the only problem.
Yeah.
See, like, if he was 3 inches
he's
shorter...
He's not smart enough to stay on the ground, though. That's the thing. That's why I said I could. Because obviously, if he's a smart defender, like if we're talking about Tim Duncan or whatever, there's no way I'm ever scoring on Tim Duncan in the post. But, like, Hassan, you can get to, like, mess up and do stupid things.
You think he's so dumb that he tries to block it with his face?
I don't know. I just think he would try to, like, humiliate me if I said I could score on him. And, like, I would bait him into trying to block it. I don't know.
I feel like... I don't know. I mean, give his IQ a little bit more credit.
No, I'm just joking.
I feel like the one way you could score on him is if you sent like a skyhook to the heavens.
Yeah. Oh, dude.
And then it came down, and there you go.
I was only like, let me look up how old I was.
Look up how what? You're gonna look up how old you were?
How old I was at this time? I think I was like 16-ish.
Do you have like a Wikipedia page or something that I don't know about?
looking up a certain place. So yeah, it would have been in '94. So I would have been like 15. Um, I played with this former NBA player, LaFonso Ellis, who was like insanely good until the next day when he blew out his knee at the same rec center I played against him at. Um, but like this guy, I was on a fast break, and I seriously threw the ball so high it was like a couple feet above the backboard because I knew he was gonna like send my crap back, you know. And this guy still freaking jumps and blocks it like above the backboard. I tried on purpose to like lob it as high as I could so he couldn't block it, and this guy still got there. I was like, "What the heck? What am I supposed to do?"
Yeah, I mean, like, yeah.
So I don't know if
like,
that would work.
The thing you're like supposed to do is you're supposed to like jump into them.
Yeah, create some space.
And it's just like I'm not used to doing that, dude. Like, there's a really athletic, like 6'5", 6'6" guy with probably a 7-foot wingspan who's just athletic and can almost like between the legs dunk that plays in our rec league. And it's like on a fast break, like if he's running with me, I'm like, I'm supposed to just like jump and launch myself into his chest and finish.
Yeah.
And I'll think about that on the break, and I'll like, I don't know, man. I'll kind of try, but most of the time it ends with me like either going up and getting my shot blocked. I'm able to get it off a lot, but I never make it. So it's like most times I just need to kick out because that's not something like you're gonna be used to at 6'4", unless you're playing against like a bunch of 6'10" people growing up or like in high school, college, whatnot. Because like I never really played against guys that were that athletic or 6'10". So it's just like I know what I'm supposed to do. Dude, like and NBA guys will do that easy, like it's nothing to them, and it's crazy to me.
Reese, what kind of question is that? Freshman LeBron would kill either of us. So yeah, like 10-year-old LeBron, I guess maybe. I don't know. Why would I be playing 10-year-old LeBron 101?
What about LeBron James Jr. right now?
Bronny?
Yeah.
I think he beat either of us.
I think he's overrated, but
well, yeah, but he's still
he's
good.
like, but like his like main thing is like facilitating.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, like if he wasn't, I don't think recruiting databases would have him as high if he wasn't LeBron James' son. And I know they're supposed to like not take that into account, but I don't. Mm-hmm. He's not a 5-star guy. He's not a 5-star guy, man. And it's like people say, "Oh, he's hasn't even played his junior season yet, yada yada yada." But like if you compare him to other people his age, it's just he's not 5-star. I'm not saying he's not D1. Like he's definitely gonna be a D1 player, but he has to grow. And I'm not saying I'll beat him. Like he would beat me, I would beat LiAngelo, right? That's how it goes.
Yeah, Reese, that's why I said it, like, if with the Bishop Sycamore thing, if we had to play Jefferson, we get smoked.
I mean, my high school almost beat Jefferson and Les Schwab. So, and that was a game we, like, played all our bench guys because we wanted to give them a chance to play in Les Schwab. We would have beat them if we played our starters. That was with, like, when they had, like, Silas Melson and all them, so. Dude, what was funny?
Look, he's
so,
pretty
like,
good, though.
Yeah, he's good. We defend him really well. What's funny, though, is, like, Jefferson normally is, like, a run-and-gun team, right? Like, they play super fast. They stalled against us for 3 minutes in Les Schwab. And it's just super ironic because our high school... Some people say our high school is the reason that they finally put a shot clock in Washington after 2009 because we made the state championship game. We beat Rainier Beach when they had, like... They had, like, Terrence Williams. I don't know if you remember him. The guy that went to Louisville, went to the league, had some issues. Mm-hmm. I forget who else they had on their team. But we beat them just because we stalled all game. Yeah. We would run this set
I hate that crap.
We would run this set that would be like an M formation above the 3-point arc, right? It'd be like a 2-guard front and then like 3 guys, and you'd pass and you'd cut, and then somebody would replace your spot. And then you'd pass, you'd cut, somebody would replace your spot, and you just stall all game. And the defense would get annoyed, start to overplay, and then you'd beat them with a backdoor cut. And since everybody is high, you'd be able to get to the rim, get a lay-in. So it would be efficient, it would work against them, but it would also slow down the game so much that like the final score would be in the 30s against Rainier Beach, right? And we won. We beat them in the semifinals. So our high school, or the year after that, they put in a shot clock. And people say our high school was the reason. It's because we made the state championship doing that. So it's funny because our high school was known for that. And we played Jefferson. We're actually playing fast. We were playing loose. We were playing all our bench guys. We were just like, we didn't really care that much. It was like we already won 2 games in Les Schwab. We won the second and third games, so the consolation bracket. But we'd already won 2 games, so it was like everybody was playing loose. We were playing actually pretty fast. We were kind of playing at their pace and keeping up with them. Lots of missed shots, but playing fast. And they stalled against us. It was the funniest thing. It was the most ironic thing I've ever seen on a basketball court.
That's funny.
But yeah. Anyway,
yeah, it's like high school needs a shot clock.
Dude,
there is in Washington now, right? Or is there
what?
there still not a shot clock in Washington? There's not in Oregon.
No, I just said. Do you not hear my story?
I did. I'm saying, like, has it changed since then?
No, the year after our high school did that was back in like 2009. The year after our high school did that against Rainier Beach, they put in a shot clock.
Okay.
So they say our high school is the reason they put it in. So yeah, they've had it. I played with a shot clock. I thought it was like my freshman year. Like every level has a shot clock. So my freshman year, I thought it was so cool. I'm like, I'm playing with a shot clock. I'm legit. But you go down to Oregon, they don't have it, man. That's whack.
Yeah.
Anyway,
still do that crap.
Yeah. Anyway, it's time to wrap up the stream. I probably won't upload this as audio because it's 2.5 hours long, so I probably won't be uploading this one to Spotify. But we will do them in the future because it's like the longest episode of Blazers Uprise Live we've had. We've been on for, I don't know. It's just cool. Once in a while, I like to go off the rails and just talk whatever with you guys. It's always a fun time, and I know you guys enjoy it. So, yeah, that's what tonight was. And we only have one more stream until we're going to be talking about Media Day, Olshay's interview on Monday, so that'll be fun. No, wait,
that's next stream. Yeah,
that's next one, dude. What happened to our off season? That's next stream. Okay, so next stream we'll have Media Day to talk about. You're right. Shoot, it's Thursday. Dang, man. And then, yeah, next week we have 2 streams, and then the following Monday we have a post game stream. And our preseason post game streams will be on this channel, on our second channel, Blazers Uprise Live. Once the regular season hits, it'll be back to the main channel, Blazers Uprise. Question, or I don't know, like I feel like you're going to be on board with this. So, you know how we do Mondays, Thursdays. When the season starts back up, we're going to be going to 3:30 p.m. streams for Blazers Uprise Live, picks against the spread, before NBA games tips off, all that good stuff. So we could, we do Mondays, Thursdays, but the season opener is Wednesday. Wednesday, there's 11 games. Do you want to do Blazers Uprise Live on a Wednesday before our season opening game?
Yeah, possibly.
Yeah, because that Thursday there's only 3 games, so it's like instead of doing Blazers Uprise Live that Thursday, let's do it Wednesday where we have 11 games and then we can preview the season opener.
Sounds good.
That's the plan, guys. So October 20th, Wednesday, October 20th instead of Thursday, October 21st, we'll kick off picks against the spread and all that good stuff. So. We'll have new graphics for that, and that'll be cool. We're going to have 8 participants, I think the plan is. I don't know if Krish wants to do it, so I have to see on him. But I was going to give Krish the opportunity to do it. He's kind of like the 5th mod now. He's the graphics guy, but yeah. So it'd be me, Eric, the mods, Trevin, Reese, Jackson, Zach, Krish, the graphics guy, and chat. So now that we have polls, it'll be a lot easier to do it. That'll be fun. So I'm trying to. I don't know. Should I put the poll results on the screen somehow, or should I just leave that in chat and not even worry about doing that?
I just leave it in chat. I don't think it's worth worrying about.
That'd be easier. So, and people can keep track of it through chat. So, yeah. Yep, Trevin wants the fresh start, man. Trevin was under 20 games under 500 all year. He started like 9-30. So, yeah, it'll be fun. It'll be fun. Anyway, anything else that you want to touch upon or say for the stream before I hit the outro?
Just my usual. Thank you, everyone. Fun stream. Even though I've been sitting here and paying the entire time. But yeah, it's good to have you all as part of the community, and thank you for watching.
Yep, go take care of that knee. We'll be live again on Monday for what should be a very entertaining stream. We will recap the inevitable I can't talk. We will recap the inevitable meltdown that half the Blazers fan base will have to Neil Olshey's press conference Monday. No matter what he says, there's going to be a meltdown. So we'll talk about that. We'll talk about what other players said. Because they do interviews with every player on Media Day, right?
I don't know about every player, but I think there are some other interviews, so probably Phillips, probably the main guys.
We'll see what it looks like, and we'll cover whatever happens on Media Day on Monday. And then Thursday, we'll talk about, I guess we'll preview the preseason or something. I don't know. Off-season's over, so hopefully you guys are ready to go. And hopefully you guys enjoy that. So we'll catch you again Monday. Player profiles coming out this weekend. I spent my time that I should have been doing making the player profile or the player preview to write the article about the Robert Covington, Ben Simmons talk. So if you haven't read that article, I'm proud of it. I will drop the link in chat. And make sure to definitely tune in to our website. And follow the channel on Twitter at BlazersUpriseYT because we tweet out our articles. We got at least one coming tomorrow. So we're ramping up the content over there. And the player previews will be out this weekend. We'll have to catch up. So maybe 2 tomorrow or the next day. I don't know. But yeah, expect a batch of those. And we'll get to more interesting players than CJ Ellaby. So that'll be fun. Anything else to note, or should I hit him with it?
Have a good night, everyone.
All right. Until next time, have a good rest of your night. As always, peace out. Go Blazers.